Boring. You know what? I can't believe we're paying to watch a shitty sequel show to Tangled. If you ask me, any of the fans of the show are giant suckers, especially the four of us right now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Geek Aftershow. I'm Inky.
I still hate that name.
And that's Tyler, who just did the dumb opening bit thing. You made the awkward fit. It makes more sense for Digital Circus, and someone literally made an edit of that, and it's like, I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters. I know. Our two guests here are, first we got Ava, music star.
Hello.
Ava, music star. You need to get back
and we got someone who's actually made a video on the topic we're discussing today, which Tyler spoiled at the beginning, but it's V! It's V!
It's the letter of the day, V!
Hey you, it's me, V, creator of the Shadow Lady MK.
Yes.
It's so good to be here.
What the hell is that?
It's like her avatar, I think.
Yeah, that's my avatar.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were talking about. Yeah, it feels so funny. I can see what Tyler was talking about because it feels so funny, like going from like hearing you in the videos to just hearing you casually talk here on the podcast.
I'm gonna do lip service, and I have Disney Plus. So I'm gonna have the show open. What do you mean? Season 1 is 23 episodes in length. Season 2 is 24.
That sounds pretty normal for a cartoon.
Season 3 was shorter. I'm really sick of the 3-season curse.
It's still 20. Still 20 episodes in length.
Well, Disney...
I miss the 3-season curse just because no shows ever get that far anymore.
Yeah, it really is. Like TV and animation is just
this show is basically just Tangled the sitcom, but without any of the sitcom elements like the laugh track. It just feels like I'm going to say this right up front and say that the filler episodes are some of the worst shit I've ever seen on television.
Yeah, we'll talk about this. I was thinking we could do this chronologically, so we talk about like.
Dude, I don't think we have the time for episode by episode.
Well, not episode by episode, but like we talk about like the pilot, season 1, 2, 3, just like overall.
I haven't seen the pilot since.
Do we want to be
it's okay.
or like do we want to
all I remember is that Cass just shows up, and it's like, and then like she gets the rocks back not because of any artistic reason. It's just like, oh, we don't want brunette because a toy of a brunette woman isn't as marketable as a toy of a blonde.
I'm really pissed we didn't get a brunette Rapunzel show. Okay, we'll get to that. But I think I heard V said if we should talk about the movie briefly, real quick.
I don't think we should because the movie is like we've all seen the movie.
It's good. It's a really great film. It is one of my favorites, and I think ultimately I really do appreciate like as much as it kind of it's a weird middle ground. It feels like it wants to be subversive, but then it does it by the books. Yeah, I feel like Enchanted was kind of like their first big attempt, Chicken Little technically was their first big attempt. This definitely feels like a middle ground between the Renaissance era and stuff like Enchanted, where it's like, yeah, they're just like, they're putting it on its head, but they're not doing it in a cynical way, and I greatly appreciate that. But they're still, like, while keeping it fresh, they're just doing those old hallmarks.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like fairy tales are high art. We've all read those stories before.
I read the original Rapunzel, actually, and there's a reason they're called the Brothers Grimm. It's quite grim.
Yeah, like
I think one of them has
interesting because like when it comes to the original fairy tale, Rapunzel is one of the hardest that you can ever adapt because at least if you want to make it kid friendly, you kind of have to address the premarital pregnancy in the room. So obviously, do that.
I think they're also called.
Hold on, listen. I was just gonna say that like. It's good that Tangled took as many creative liberties as they did while still staying faithful to some of the beats of the original story.
True.
Because I feel like the only other mainstream Rapunzel movie that we have is Barbie as Rapunzel. And although that one's also charming in its own right, I think that it borrows too much from Cinderella.
Yeah.
I think they still sort of sanitized the original story by sanding all of the edges off. Because I would have done it what they did by Liberties, but not sand off all of the edges to the point where it's all soft. And I think they're also called Grimm because, like, don't quote me on this, But in 2024, I was on a call with my friend named what was her name again? I think her name was Alice, and we were on she was one of my work friends, and she was like she told me about one of the Grimm brothers fairy tales and how dark they were, and how adult they were. Sound familiar? Probably not.
I mean, if cutting eyes out is super dark, okay.
Shut up!
They love.
And I think it was that. One of the versions of Little Running Hood. It was apparently was in one of those. I am not sure.
Oh, we're not gonna touch. Okay, what?
I don't know. It was a birthday present.
Alice told you this. Why?
Yes. We got into a lot of. We talk about.
Anyway, moving on. Tangled still does have a bit of edge to it because, they don't sugarcoat some things like, oh, he's gonna get hung, or they almost show the gash in his chest. So it's yeah, and I probably would have been bumped to PG-13 if they'd done that. So. Yeah,
and it would have been actually more bold
how awful Gothel is. Literally, the minute that the facade loses its power, she becomes very much so very physical with Rapunzel and chaining her up and gagging her, and it's if you thought Cinderella was bad with how Lady Tremaine treated her, this is for a brief moment it gets so much worse with Rapunzel and Gothel.
Gothel's easily top 3 Disney villains. I genuinely
I would say she's definitely up there, but again, she's kind of she's oh, we must know, we must teach you, Mother knows best. It's theatrical in broad way.
By the way, that's one of the things I don't like. Mother Knows Best is a fine song. The reprise I don't like because it feels like it's forced. It's speaking and singing at the same time. It is such a weird number. I can't explain.
You're not on stage. Get off.
You could have easily done that as a conversation. I think it's fine, but it's just eh.
I think When Will My Life Begin is probably my favorite song in the movie just because of the guitar. There's way more. There's just too many songs where acoustic in the same cadence.
Yeah, When Will My Life Begin? It was stuck in my head when I fell in love with this movie back in end of 2022.
And you're still in this shitty marriage.
I'm still stuck in it. Yep, and obviously my favorite though is I See the Light. Genuinely one of
we don't need it. You're not getting corny on me now. No.
No, genuinely, dude. It's magical moments though, because I did a watch party.
Did you just say magic? That certain movie from 2000 in the other room?
I was about to mention that, I did a watch party at Gaming Magic 13 server. Ava was there for the movie. And yeah, I'll cherish that forever. Specifically with the ending when Rapunzel and Eugene embrace when he comes back alive. Oh, I will never forget that moment. It was
too bad the show utterly lobotomizes it. Can we talk about the show now?
Yeah. What would you guys say your scores are for the movie? I like doing ratings for some odd reason.
I'm gonna give it an A, a 7.5.
I'll give it a 9.
I think I'll also give it a 9.
Yeah, because I think it's truly something special. Maybe sometimes I feel because again, there's the one number, and then sometimes they get a little tricky. How does Eugene conveniently land on Maximus up there? That was
you are not Mr. Gaming Magic 13. Get fuck out of the room.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to be just a little bit. Also, I guess maybe slightly why does no one recognize Rapunzel when they're in the kingdom? I kind of get when it's been a long time.
They haven't seen her in 18 years.
Yeah, she might look a different picture in the picture. I don't know. They get really lucky with that and Eugene not getting seen by the guards. I feel but either way, it is near perfect. It is.
Hold on, wait, Ava, what's your score?
I would probably give it either an 8.5 or a 9. I genuinely remember really being obsessed with Tangled as a kid. I mean, I'm there's no admitting that, I'm a Disney princess kid growing up. And Rapunzel was one of my favorite princesses as a kid. Not just because, I related to her being awkward and very artistic, but also there was a point where I did have a Rapunzel phase, and it even continued on when I heard the show was airing on TV. And okay, I might as well squeeze it. That my Rapunzel phase was bad when I full on tried to be like her. Okay, so I will give you this in advance for context. I was a good kid growing up. I barely got in trouble. what I'm about to describe you, was the biggest thing I've done that got me in trouble. Keep in mind, I was around, I'd say 9 years old. This was shortly after the movie came out. And this was where my Rapunzel phase was really coming into fruition.
Yeah.
My dumbass decided, hey, I'm going to pretend I'm like Rapunzel and climb out of my bedroom window. Because the way that my bedroom worked is that my bed was like obviously against the wall that had a window conveniently placed there. And the window had one of those like mosquito mesh sheets on there to protect from, bugs getting in my room. I didn't know how those things worked. So what did I do? I grabbed scissors and cut a hole in the mesh sheet, and then grabbed one of my giant blankets, flipped it outside, and attempted climbing out of my window.
No way. That is actually insane. Wow.
Honestly, good.
That is.
I need to put you on a
I didn't
leash.
make it completely out because I was still skittish because it was a pretty high height. So I immediately, as soon as I was getting close to the ground, I'm like, yeah, nope, this was a bad idea. I am climbing out of my window. And then I'm like, oh shit. I can't let my parents find out about this.
Can we please get to
Found
what
out
people actually
almost
clicked on the video
immediately.
for?
And the most I got in trouble for was just getting my iPod taken away from me. That was it.
While she's telling the story, can you put that fucking gif of Cranky Kong just smirking, just doing like fucking moving his head? I'll send you that image.
Are you talking about this?
Not that one.
Which one?
Trying to find it.
Anyway, while you're finding it,
it was that clip during the fucking Mario Kart scene where he just nod his head in disgust when they fucking We watched the movie last time. It was good.
Anyway,
can we actually get to what people clicked on the video for?
Yes. It's time to talk about this thing. I've been hung on for 3 years. 3 years, I should preface.
I will preface this right now and just state one of the biggest problems with this show.
No, Tyler.
Fuck!
Hold on.
Why are we dragging this now? Get to the point!
All right, Tyler.
Yeah, like literally, I want to rip apart this show without my shadow talking for me.
Yeah. Okay, so I do want to like say this up front. So, it was so funny. So, yeah, as a kid, I liked the movie. I didn't love it the way I do now. But yeah, so I checked it out again end of 2022, start of 2023, and I was like, oh, yeah, I vaguely remember there was a show, and I didn't even know it went for 3 full seasons. I don't know many people who did because of bullshit marketing decisions we might talk about later.
They didn't market it. They didn't have faith in it, and honestly, that's deserved.
Season 1 was marketed fine, but then they changed the title to something I absolutely hate. It's like Tangled the series is fine. Why Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure? I do
Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure.
That is so generic.
I still don't understand why they made that change. Like, I'm like, why did you do that? That was completely pointless.
Yeah.
Why?
And it threw it off people's DVRs. It just So
what the hell even is a DVR?
It was like an old-fashioned way of like recording episodes.
Basically, streaming service, but easy.
Kind of, yeah. So I watched Gravity Fall reruns that way, and I found out about the show through a commercial about the pilot, and I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. I mean, I like the movie.
And then that spawned your parasocial obsession.
I should keep in mind, I wasn't even 10 yet. He loves calling it parasocial. But I wasn't even 10 yet. I watched it, hated it, and I never watched an episode after that. But then
you were on the right side of history.
But then in 2023, I was a dumbass, got on the wrong side of history, and I binged the whole show through this ghost Wi-Fi. And at the time, I was in an abusive household, and yeah, it was just my main way of escape. And yeah, I should mention The Cruel Irony, a show that promotes abuse, got me through abuse. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. But yeah, I watched the whole thing on Ghost Wi-Fi. I initially loved it, but then time has eaten me away. I watched it a second time with Tyler last year, and yeah, it was certainly a trip to go back through. So
let me just preface this by just saying one of the biggest problems with this godforsaken show is its existence. There is literally no reason for this to exist outside of money. There is nothing in this that is artistic enough. to be worthwhile. It does not expand on the world building in any tasteful way.
It tries.
They just add They just add things for the sake of adding. 2 OCs, only one of them is fun because they break the rules. Like, oh, I make fun of fairy tale tropes. Yes,
except they did that in the original with Eugene. Cass is just kind of being Eugene again. And so let's talk about the pilot first, because like you said, she just shows up. They don't like properly introduce her, and what they do introduce of her is already like mildly concerning, because like she's already like, yeah, because she's Rapunzel's feeling trapped, and Cass not only manipulates her to reject the proposal, but after, you know, she gets her hair back because, oh wow, I guess we can't have a Tangled show without the hair.
Like I said, a toy of a brunette woman won't sell as well as a blonde.
They didn't even sell merch after the start of season 2. Which, thank God, because then a bunch of guys would have gooned to Mooncast figurines. Anyway, so
Tyler, you reminded me. Like, I literally was so upset that the only Rapunzel doll with short brunette hair that you can get is her wedding dress outfit doll. That like I put my own Rapunzel in COVID time. I cut off her hair and I dyed it with a brown marker, and I am genuinely still proud of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that, because Disney's brunette erasure pisses me off.
Not just brunette erasure, but also short hair. As someone who has short hair,
yeah,
short hair is
I'm pissed about this.
Short hair is overrated. Long hair is better.
Yeah,
when it comes to the pilot, like I feel like the 2 things that pissed me off the most were Cass and Frederick, because piggybacking off of Cass.
Here's
the thing.
This is an interesting. That's an interesting point, actually.
From the beginning, as like the most important person in Rapunzel's life, because now she has a girl bestie. But the problem is that because she's not even in the original movie, most people are going to watch it thinking,
Eugene is just a fuck real. I don't really care about him very much.
Are you?
Eugene is sidelined hard, and whenever he gets focused, he is an insufferable fucking. Well, we'll talk about him.
Oinky, fucking cool down, Jesus Christ. And I say it's a good thing because fucking Eugene just gives off like he's just a bum ass freeloader. You don't deserve a woman.
In the show, it seems like he's seen that way, and he's sometimes even acting like that.
In both the movie and the show, and I say the disrespect is
Eugene a freeloader because she's in a higher position of privilege, being the daughter of the captain of the Royal Guard. So, if anything, she's more likely to be the actual freeloader than Eugene.
And this is what I wanted to say. She was taking advantage of Rapunzel by saying, no, you can't tell Eugene. She does that into the first episode, and I'm like, buddy, this is not a great first impression.
Not to mention, like, literally, Eugene says, I just want Rapunzel to be safe, and I want her to be happy, and Cass verbatim says, funny, you have a really good idea of what you want. And I'm thinking, okay, so...
Oh my God, please, let me talk.
The fact that she did it, like, hear me out for a second. So you know the saying, if your friend jumped off a cliff, would you jump with them? Like, rephrase that into, if your friend wants to jump off of a cliff, would you let them? Eugene would be the one holding Rapunzel back and taking her back to safety.
Yeah,
whereas if Cass found out that Rapunzel wanted to jump off a cliff, this basically confirms that not only would she let her, she would be the one pushing her off the cliff. That's not what friends are supposed to do.
Please? Okay, so like, that's an interesting point, because Cass is literally the only good thing in this show to me, because she's again like everything with Eugene really caring about Rapunzel, it just feels so insincere. Because Zachary Levi is just phoning it in, and it just makes me hate the character and the actor more. And it's not that I hate Eugene. It's just Cass is just more fun to watch. Like, they cared more about her animation and facial tics. Like, I'm glad they're making fun of Eugene. I'm glad they're making fun of him, because I didn't like him for most of the movie very much.
I thought you liked him in the movie.
I have to agree with you.
I only liked him for, like, some of the movie in the third act and nothing else.
Like, I may not be... You see, I may be fond of Eugene and not of Cass, but I do kind of agree with you, because the way that he's handled in the show, you're right. Like, they do phone it in, where Eugene is basically, his whole role is to just say, I support you to Rapunzel whenever he can, and then he gets nothing else.
Sincere. It just doesn't feel sincere, because they're not doing anything with it to truly, like, expand their relationship. Like, you're right. It's barely focused on, because they fucking shot themselves in the foot with adding all this other shit that we don't care about.
Before season 3, most of the moments where they do focus on Rapunzel Eugene are good. I again, emphasize before season 3. We'll get to that. But yeah, because since we're talking cast, I do like her. Like in season 1 and 2, I can understand where most like the motivation for that is coming from, and it's just like, yeah, you keep sidelining Rapunzel Eugene for that, and it's just so lousy. Like I don't I can see why that shit became popular, because I don't understand. And there were even storyboard artists who were saying like, oh yeah, she's totally gay. It's like, what, bro? You're just making this worse like, for people.
This show just lacks the show sort of lacks any authenticity with heart. Like it has, and what attempts at heart it does have, it's just table dressing to me. It's manipulative.
Or it's like immediately overshadowed.
They don't really care. They don't really care about having anything emotional. They just want to get to the next thing. And like I think you said with Cassandra, like I relate to her a lot. Like I've been waiting in the wings. I did the thing.
That song is fantastic. I'm so glad it won an Emmy. And I want to talk about Great Tree in a bit, because it makes that song hit harder knowing the surrounding context that I hate so much. But yeah, like, I don't know.
Like, Rapunzel's being a privileged white bitch in the goddamn.
I mean, it takes half the show to get to that. Before that, she is the funny Shelty Shelt, and they're booing me. Why are they booing me? I said it, Tyler. It was their old meme.
They're booing me.
That's not what they say in the episode, but it is fucking hilarious.
What they say, though. It is what they say, though. I remember it's like.
Because, okay, the pilot, they established...
Why are you booing me? I'm right. But, okay, wait, hold on, sorry. I think we're starting to get a little bit sidetracked, so if we're gonna, like, keep talk to the pilot, I want to talk about something else that, like, pissed me off in the pilot. King Frederick.
No, we're not doing this. Bye, everyone. Have a nice life.
What they do to him is brutal.
Like, give me the crystal!
Yeah, it's like, Cortex. It literally feels like Cortex. He's doing the same voice, and I did the edit where it's like, Rapunzel, bring me crystals, because it's so fitting. He is an asshole. He is an asshole. He literally is just like, man.
Like, I feel like the first red flag is that when Rapunzel comes back to the kingdom, he doesn't allow her to physically interact with anyone else. Like,
yeah, those guards have to fucking stalk her everywhere.
For 18 years with only Gothel to give her like physical affection, and then suddenly she can't go around town without everybody, like all the guards, terrorizing the people of Corona for wanting to welcome back their princess. And Frederick is also like, I understand that he's traumatized, but
there's only
I feel like he wants to re-traumatize Rapunzel in order to make himself feel better, because he can't handle the other reality where she's not a caged bird in his.
I don't think that was their intention. It's just fucking shitty writing. So that
exactly. I feel like if you tweaked it,
interpret it in like this way.
If you tweaked it just a bit, I feel like you can still have the insecurities and trauma, but make it so he actually wants to like help Rapunzel figure out the mystery. He doesn't want to hear a word about it, and when in actuality, he's working towards that, and he's like, I think we're just basically bleeding from the pilot into season 1 discussion, but like,
can we first episode we're talking about is the
against Lady Kane and save the day, and yet he still forbids her from ever leaving the kingdom. It's like he constantly punishes Rapunzel whenever she proves herself.
Yeah, I vividly remember when me and Tyler were watching season 1. Gradually throughout, Tyler was thinking that I was exaggerating and being performative, as they'd call it, about the whole thing.
You were just echo. I knew there was a but. Someone else.
Shut up. There's a but.
Fight my shiny metal ass.
There's a but. When we got to that finale of season 1, and the very scene where he's like, oh yeah, despite everything that you've been trying to do this season, I'm going to lock you in the tower. Me and Tyler both were going, what? What? But we were both doing it at once, and they play the horror music, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, I get what they were going for, trying to climax with him going too far, but bro, after she said the previous episode, you're not the first person to tell me that I can't go out there and all that. And he has the look on his face. He knows what she's talking about, and she goes ahead and does it anyway. And the worst part afterward is fucking Ariana coming in, his mom, or her mom, sorry, and saying like, I tried to talk him out of it. It's like, it implies that her mom is also getting abused too. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this man? Oh my god.
Yeah, like,
oh my god. You're literally
the fact that they break the show don't tell rule means that if
are
we
just
actually
doing-
saw Ariana trying to talk Frederick down, like, if I remember correctly, didn't he threaten to throw Eugene in the dungeon if he tried to side with Rapunzel? So
Oh my
if
god.
Ariana tried to talk him down and we didn't see it, who knows what was going on behind the scenes? Like, did he threaten to lock up his own wife?
Yeah, I was looking at like the pilot clips again. I think even in the pilot, Eugene was trying to talk to him like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry about the proposal blowing up earlier. I didn't expect that." And then her dad straight up like, "We'll discuss this later." And it's like, "Fuck you! Like, listen to the man, dude. Like, you're just being a dick for no reason." And even in Rapunzel's nightmare sequences, he's being a dick. Like, oh my god, he's just such a grump. And like they try to do damn.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is the frame. This is literally you.
Oh my god. Like, you're getting too theatrical. It's
I'm sorry.
now.
I can't help it. It's
like,
so
all of
it
this
does.
over a
You kind
fucking
of have to with
toddler,
the show.
a
I mean,
fucking
this is a
boils-
show based on a Disney musical. You're gonna
It has
expect some
musical numbers.
theatricality.
It
Like,
boils
especially
my
considering
blood.
the
Genuinely,
ongoing
though.
theme of the show, which we will get to as we cover all of the
I'll
seasons.
say this:
It's
the best musical number is "Crossing the Line" because they bothered to change.
We'll
the
get there. We'll
genre
get there,
instead of
Tyler. We'll get there.
Okay,
We'll get
let's
there.
not go too far. But something I did want to input about Frederick and his characterization, and even Ariana's, is that obviously we don't see Rapunzel's parents that much in the movie. They barely speak.
They
But
don't
based
speak.
on their body language, I look at Frederick and then I look at how he's portrayed in the show, and I'm like,
Yeah.
not convinced these are the same people, because Frederick, we see he's absolutely devastated and he doesn't have to say a word. And I'm like, you're telling me this guy would go on to unknowingly be overprotective and flat out abusive to Rapunzel? I'm sorry. No,
Here's my
you're
take.
not going to
Here's my
convince me
take.
these two are the same character.
Here's my
Same with
take, okay?
the only
Here's my
exception is
take, okay?
Ariana, like, but at the same time, yeah, she has her flaws too. Like, I don't know.
Here's
like,
my take on it. All right, Ava.
okay.
The king in the movie was a glorified glup shido. He meant nothing. All he had was a few seconds of scenes with silent dialogue. Like in the show, fuck it, do your own thing. I'm all for a take.
Well,
it's
here's the
bad,
thing.
but I don't care. I don't care very much. It's whatever.
The thing is, I do understand where they're coming from. I do recognize them acknowledging like the trauma that like he's faced and all of that. And they try to do damage control with the episode in like Flynn, where he takes Eugene out to go do a heist for the royal seal, and it's not like a badge; it's literally a seal. That was pretty funny. But and the subplots. Rapunzel trying to prank people. She basically is just like, you just got coconut mauled, except, well, Rapunzel. But yeah, but like I do like that. I do like they were trying to do that. I just wish it was, the character all around had insecurities, but he was still a good father to Rapunzel. And then it wouldn't clash as hard, It's just
like, the thing is, if you cut out the first season and just had like all of Frederick's arc be condensed to Before Ever After, it would have been fine. Like, it would have made him likable.
Yeah, you
But
could have
then
had it
again,
in the pilot. We didn't
knowing
need a
who's in
whole
charge of
season.
the show, of course that would never happen.
Rapunzel's stuck in quarantine. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And
She's a prisoner in her own home yet again, and that's the thing that gets me, because when I watch these movies, sure, if you're going to make a sequel or of some sorts or whatever, like, I obviously expect that there's going to be some more conflict, but the problem is, it feels lazy when you're actively undoing the happy ending. Because it's like engineered conflict that feels fake because you couldn't come up with anything else, and not to mention, it punishes the viewers who were rooting for Rapunzel in the movie to get her freedom, only to find out that the ending that she got was that she went from one abusive cage to another abusive cage.
Right.
Except somehow the second abusive cage is supposed to be forgiven. And, we're supposed to see the guy as ultimately a good guy, unlike Mother Gothel.
yeah.
I
think we kind of glossed over this earlier, but I feel like this show doomed itself right out of the gate.
Yes, by existing.
That obviously, if you had good enough writers in the room, I'm literally doing a rewrite. I can do this better than they can, I'm sure.
Like, the show just feels so soulless because nobody on the writing and directing team gave a shit. Like, here's what I would
Some people get cared. They had fucking Dana Terrace in there and Namona's writer, who, by the way, wrote the booing episode, which is fucking hilarious.
Just don't feature Rapunzel or Eugene. Just have it so that they're already married. Just make it a cast focused thing. Ignore the fucking.
Actually, it could have been a Monsters at Work thing. That could have been fun. Where like Rapunzel and Eugene are there, they're married, and they're kind of trying to advise things, and then you have like the new characters.
Rapunzel's having babies and shit.
But at the same time,
if you're going to do it before they're married, why not just have Rapunzel be the traveling ambassador of Corona?
Why didn't we just go straight to season 2, like straight up? We'll talk about that because season 2 is my favorite, despite being the most rapid quality. We glossed over earlier the fact, I think it doomed itself, not just existing like Tyler said, but the fact that this is an interquel between
you stole my point. You plagiarized my point. You fucking piece of shit.
Yeah,
let me say it.
We think alike.
Let me say it.
The proposal thing, I think, is very hand-fisted. It's fine in the pilot, but then
like they LARP on it for so long. Like,
I don't mind it in season 2 because, funnily enough, that is my favorite episode of the show.
They know you're gonna get married. They're gonna get married, so you don't have to watch.
There's no suspense to it because they say
why
at the
do you
end
have to take the joke line at the end of the movie so seriously?
Exactly. It's like, okay, years and years of asking. It was only 3, brother. It just makes Eugene come off as very. I mean, it is cute, I guess. Like Ava once said it to me, like, I guess some couples could kind of do that. It is kind of charming that way. And, like, I love how in season 3, Rapunzel was going to do it the other way around. Eugene was like, oh my gosh. It's like we never get this. But what I appreciate is...
Or something I just thought of that would be a really interesting dynamic we've never really seen before is just Rapunzel and Eugene get engaged, and the whole years and years of asking Eugene implied in the movie is again exaggeration because he's that kind of person.
Yeah.
Like have Eugene
Can I go on a Rapunzel rant now?
Hold on.
For a majority of the show, that would make a pretty interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
And given the events of the show.
But I do like at the end of that season 3 episode, the last time they do it before the finale, I love how they say, yeah, we can never get this right, do we? At least they acknowledge that they run it into the ground. But like, and in that episode, I guess the ring is like a Deus Ex Machina, so it's like, yeah, it's just, all right.
Can I go on a Rapunzel?
Go ahead.
I know, like, y'all been trying to prop up Rapunzel, like, fucking mad. Like, she's good, she's a great character. No, she's not. She's just a spineless... She's spineless.
Well, like, in the first season,
she's spineless. They're booing me. Idiots.
In the first season, she's trying to like adjust to things, and they do all.
She is the poster child of everything I hate about a Disney princess. They can't do anything without a big, strong man to help.
All right, well, Tyler, before you get into your old
let me
rhetoric,
let me.
She is like...
You've already talked over me enough.
In the first half of the show, I appreciate how she's like... she's just trying to adjust to things. I think at least in the first half, the second half's a whole different can of worms we'll talk about. I think in the first half, she is very endearing in like the passive aggressive nature. And I must preface this right now. I think the show is really fucking funny. I think there is a lot of just great like witty exchanges, and there's like a specific episode I will point towards because it's so like. Tyler, what do you want?
I said you cut me off. You cut me off when I was gonna rant about the blonde bitch.
No, because it's the same tired. Like Rapunzel isn't that okay? She's literally
she's spineless. She's an idiot.
In the show, okay.
She doesn't understand basic social cues. Like,
they're booing my problem.
In the show, I think like. In the show, I do think she has some kind of a spineless thing. Like, you're right about that, Tyler. I mean, look at Challenge of the Brave. Like, that is the best example that I can
Dana Terrace storyboarded that. What the fuck? But yeah, like, she's not recognizing that she's kind of just being a little overbearing on Cass. And, like, I actually like that episode, but, like, yeah, their conflicts throughout the, like, first 2 seasons get kind of repetitive, where it's, like, not fully understanding one another's sides. You gotta, like, she doesn't realize she's the princess above her.
And the worst thing is that she tries to mend the situation by saying, respect, but Cass, I respect you. That should be enough. But the problem is that just because the princess respects somebody doesn't mean all of Corona is going to do it.
Okay, V, can I add something on that? Like, that alone sort of paints a different picture. Like, to that, nobody in the kingdom really gives a shit about what Cass wants, like, what she wants. Because I always interpreted it as she never wanted to be part of the guard. She just wanted to do her own thing and just have her own adventures. But she's been forced into that role, and she's just having to live with it, and nobody really respects her. And that sort of, like, what was the conflict in the episode again?
I'm pretty sure she wanted to be a guard, but the problem is that she's forced to be a lady in waiting. Because, like, remember, when we introduced
she doesn't give a fuck.
Wear, like, this pale blue dress that she doesn't like, and she likes being a tomboy, and nobody
Tyler hated the pale dress.
I can tell you all about that, because I was like, take that shit off. Take it off.
I will say, that and, like, the way they try to copy Rapunzel's movie outfit, we can talk about the animation as we go along, because, like, I actually do really like the art style. It is generic, yes,
I'll go on a rant about that.
I wish it went more abstract, and it's just kind of like, I don't know.
I just wish everything was more angular and, there's more shading. Because
there's so much I can say about the show. I feel like I'm going rapidly back and forth the most. And season 1, it's just like, it feels like they didn't know what to do to get up to the fucking, the journey.
Yeah, and
I get having the slow burn, but guys, we only need so many episodes before we kickstart. And speaking of which, we should talk about the crux of season 1. That being Varian.
Varian is one of the best aspects of the show.
I love this guy.
Because, it's Jeremy Jordan, aka
he's Tumblr bait. He's adorable. Jeremy Jordan gives him a fantastic performance.
We don't need to go on about Broadway theater now.
But genuinely, his build up too when we get to Queen for a day.
Everybody in the show is a Broadway alumni, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, exactly, Tyler. So you knew what you were getting into, Tyler.
They ever get an office? They ever give an Oscar for worst actors?
All right, go ahead with what you're saying, Ava. Jesus.
Yeah, like, if anything, like, Varian is, well, for one, he's a fun character. For one, he has a good vibe to him, but his build-up to his villain arc is really good. That's one of the things I remember with season 1. Like, Queen for a Day is still... I still remember being absolutely gut-dropped by that episode. Not just because of the stakes, but Varian himself.
It takes 16 episodes, if you include the pilot, to get to something truly spectacular. Queen for a Day is a great episode. Queen for a Day is just really... Queen for a Day is one of the only episodes that I actually think is good. Because for one, it's not stuck in the same Corona setting, and plus there's snow. I like the weather. They actually change up the aesthetic, because you get tired of Corona after a while. It's like, go out and see the world, damn it.
I like that. I like the use of temperature contrast with the amount of times they show when it's snowing, it's all warm, cold, but when they're inside, it's very warm and orangey. I love that sort of
the visuals start getting really good in that episode. I think the only thing that looks weird is the giant Demanitus or machine. It looks like 2000s Disney, when they used to blend 2D and 3D together. It looks like that. It looks like
the CGI. It does.
It's like the cave scene in Aladdin. Okay, guys, that looks rough.
It looks like the CG in the Simpsons movie, which I was watching one of the commentaries for before we did this, and the tone of this just reminds me a lot of that commentary.
But yeah, that episode they do start getting interesting with the storyboarding and everything, and it's but the writing itself, we're cutting between all of these different moving pieces, and they balance the characters fairly well, so Rapunzel doesn't come off in any insensitive way. I really like that scene of her reacting to snow for the first time, and it's one of the few moments where I think Eugene being a dick is actually kind of funny. Just
wait a minute, how has she not seen snow before? She was in the tower, so she knows what it is.
Oh, poor
exactly.
She
knows what it is.
Maybe Gothel told her to keep it shut. Because
you can make the argument that she never stepped foot in it, but she should know what it is. She read a lot.
It is a little dumb because
she had a lot of books. She's literate. She should know what it is.
It's dumb because there's apparently a gap in time between the movie and the pilot, so it is kind of it is a little weird. But that contrast.
So you're telling me that it is never snowed in Corona between the movie and the pilot.
Well, let's not think about it. So I love the contrast in that shot though between Rapunzel just dancing, being happy in the snow, and Eugene just bitching about cats. That is fucking funny to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, and that was
every time Eugene bitches about Cass, I think he's completely justified. Like, Rapunzel is being so unfair to him whenever she sides with Cass, because she sides with Cass all the time, and she never tries to get her to get along with Eugene.
Yeah, because she's performative and spineless, because she does not have a backbone of her own. There are rarely any points in this show where
she just uses it on the wrong people.
Yeah,
she's never seen as angry a lot.
Rapunzel's falling for someone, but I want to point this out right now. My aunt watched that I don't talk to anymore, but the first season of the show. She watched it. It was like, oh, Cass is Gothel. Look at the hair. And I'm like, bro, they made it obvious from the start. Just looking at her. That is not how you set up a twist, guys.
Can we jump ahead just a little bit?
The problem is that when they first wrote Cass, she was supposed to be an upfront villain, which, you know what? Given how she behaves in season 1 especially, I can absolutely believe that. But then they decided, wait, it would be better if Rapunzel had a friend, so let's make them friends first and then turn them into enemies. And it's like, given that you've already established too much baked into the character, you can't really get it out.
Yeah.
Can I tell my story?
What?
And when it comes to Varian too, with Varian, I guess I kind of agree when people say that he's the best part of the show, but the problem for me is that because I've always detested Tangled since the beginning, it's been consistently hard for me to care about anything, so at best to me, Varian is just kind of
He's just kind of, it's kind of like salad dressing to compensate.
The only original character that I fully liked from Tangled the series is Lance Strongbow. Like,
Lance
I genuinely think they have like a sweet friendship, and I feel like Lance deserved to have a better show.
For one, I think establishing a childhood friend for Eugene kind of slightly misses the point. It's not as blatant as Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate, where it's like, bro, the point was he had no friends. Come on. But, yeah, he does nothing. Like, his first 2 episodes with Eugene are solid and like it's seemingly establishing something, but then after that he just becomes comic relief constantly, and that's another thing the show has. It loves that overusing him and Shorty. Why did we need so much Shorty fucking jokes?
That was one thing I really didn't like watching the show, because I was watching Tangled the series as it was airing on TV. I was following, it was the first time I really followed a show I actually cared about and was looking forward to, and even I'm willing to admit Shorty being the comic relief was honestly, I'm like, it made me roll my eyes every time because it was just not funny.
I did
funny alcohol.
I did like when
comic relief as well, but I will say, like, at least thematically, now that Eugene finally has one person in his corner while the entire kingdom is against him and Rapunzel does nothing to help, like, that's why I like Lance, basically.
And I like that he goes to the Snuggly Ducklings still to talk to them, even if they're still kind of slightly one-sided. Hey, I don't mind seeing those guys. Shorty is overused. And I do...
And then Hookhand, like, basically threatens to kill him when he accidentally gets somebody to read poetry or whatever. But I don't know, that was kind of stupid.
I will say, I do like when Shorty, like, they prop him up as, like, this, oh, he's, like, randomly oddly useful. I'm particularly thinking of One Angry Princess here, solving that case of, like, the candy shop thing. Tyler got pissed, like, they did, like, the time skip cut, like, 50 times in that episode, and I'm like, you didn't give a shit to edit some of these filler episodes, so why are we doing all this filler then, if you don't care to, like, edit it properly and not make it feel repetitive as shit? They even do a bunch of, like, Thomas Miller era-esque montages where it's like, oh, the character does something 3 times.
You insensitive prick.
Yeah, it like, it's just...
Well, just let me, like, we all know Cassandra's Gothel's daughter, and, I genuinely, I genuinely relate to, my mother not giving a fuck about what I want and just generally not taking care of me very well. And the moment she abandons her really struck me, and they showed it, because they don't talk down to the kids with that. They don't do lip service. They just show it in a very respectful way. And then Inky over here, when we were watching it, decided to cut in and start whining about it like an insensitive jackass.
Yeah, I will get to that. Like I've said in messages here, I've made mistakes in my overly fiery passion for this thing. And yeah, we'll talk about that because I generally felt like it conflicted in that moment of them taking it seriously. So, but I now admit I was overbearing with that, and I am sorry for that. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. And
So,
just
yeah.
like can we talk about the filler episodes now? It's like most
I mean,
of them,
what is
like,
there to talk about? There's kind of
like there's like my
They're
stance on it is
nothing
this.
burgers most of the time.
There are
My
good
stance
few.
on this is like there's like let me look at the official. I have Disney Plus, so I can look at the episode list. Like there are some gems. Like I'm gonna go. I was on season 3. I'm gonna go to season 1. Like there are some gems. Like I think I remember Under Wraps being really fun.
Yeah, it was. I was gonna mention that. And
Yeah.
Pascal's story
And
is very good. I respect that episode.
Pascal's story was so heart-wrenching. And I love how Rapunzel was characterized. And she like, hey, no, you listen to me. Cancel everything.
That bit was funny.
Nothing happens until we find Pascal. I'm like, that's the Rapunzel I want to see more of.
When Trevor was watching season 1, he posted like the meme.
I think that she was able to defend Pascal more than Eugene. Like it's sweet for Pascal.
Eugene and Cass didn't give a fuck. They were telling her to give up. I was really pissed at that, and I was also pissed at like the whole contrivance of like Pascal hearing in on Eugene and Rapunzel. I was like, come on, guys, that's like a Shrek 1 thing. Like, stop it, come on. But I love later in the episode, my favorite moment of that is when Rapunzel first enters the tower and she shudders and like takes a moment. It's like, yeah, they respect like the trauma that Rapunzel and Pascal went through. Like that is one of the few times in the show. Same with later in season 1 with Quest for Varian when they go and try and figure out things at Rapunzel's tower to hide from her piece of shit dad's guards. And the rocks come in and crumble that tower, and Rapunzel's sitting there crying. That hit me hard that first time.
It didn't hit me very hard because like bitch, get over it. Like if you know me, I'm
Stockholm. It's Stockholm.
I don't.
I'm
very insensitive. I just don't care. Like get over yourself. You're in a better place now. Get the fuck over it and forget about it.
Okay, but if you go into Rapunzel's mindset here for a second, you're seeing your childhood home. Yes, there were so many traumatic memories, but that was also still your home for 18 years. So seeing it crumble down, even if it was filled with trauma, there's a part of you that's gonna hit hard because that's just what it is.
Feel the same about that there because she used that place. Again, they use that place to hide in that episode. Clearly, she wanted to come back there every now and again, or as something for sanctuary, even if it was a place that was a prison at one point. And it's just like,
I don't like
when her dad is basically convincing her to go back to her old prison.
And it's like, why should I feel sorry for you when you're such a spineless bitch? And
she is kind of going along with like what Cass tells her, and it's like, all right, buddy, you got your boyfriend
I don't like
right there.
So why should I feel sorry for you? That's
especially when, and I was going to mention this too, especially when at the end of Queen for Day, I love Queen for Day, but the only thing I would have added is at the very end of the episode, at least go check old Corona for him. Like, at least, like, I'm putting it just in the rewrite that he kind of just, he made an excuse to the villagers to leave and go get supplies when in actuality, he's now deliberating in the dark. But at least Rapunzel would have made the effort. That would have been so much better than her just not giving a shit. Like, I get if you're busy with duties, but if I remember, I could be remembering wrong, but they don't even say that. Once the blizzard shit is over, she doesn't do a thing to go check on him. So I'm like, you fucking bitch, Leah, why didn't you help the kid out when you were done with the other thing?
Probably because after the blizzard happened, I think if I'm remembering correctly, the guards and Frederick basically branded Varian as a criminal. So if she tried to help him, then the guards, they're not characters. They're not people. They're basically just mind-controlled robots who work for Frederick.
Yeah, the guards, the captain is an idiot.
Actively stop Rapunzel if she tried to help. Because, literally, Frederick... Remember that Frederick was under a spell at some point, and he tells the guards to lock away Rapunzel and her friends, and they do it without hesitation. And they also actively keep her trapped in the tower at the castle. And
they try to pretend.
Also try to stop her friends from helping her. So who's to say that they wouldn't have done the same thing if she tried to help Varian?
Yeah, they try to pretend like that personality swap episode. You mentioned that in your video, that it's supposed to be like a contrast in Frederick's demeanor. How is it any different from the episode after, or 2 episodes after?
Dragon season 1 a bit.
Where
because it's
I know we're getting to the end here, and and he's telling Rapunzel like, oh no, I'm the king, I get to tell you what I want. It's like, how is that any different? And locking her in the tower, how is that any different from him locking them up when he's possessed? It doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid. But yeah,
like, you may be the princess, but you have no power. And it's honestly shocking that after the tower thing, I'm kind of surprised that Frederick didn't become completely irredeemable. Like, given his character, I would have expected him to throw Cass and Eugene in the dungeon, and then
he was sending Cass away
Rapunzel to himself, so that way she would never leave him.
Yeah, he was sending.
I'd rather not harp on Neocortex.
He was gonna fucking send away Cass. He literally does that at the start of the episode before he even locks Rapunzel in the tower. It's like, dude. But yeah, so yeah, the finales of season 1 is so bizarre because, like, how do you put Ready as I'll Ever Be in the same episode as all that shit with Frederick? That is the quality clash of the century, guys. Holy shit. And I know Tyler...
Which is saying a lot, because Ready as I'll Ever Be... Look, say what you will about the series, the music still slaps.
Yes, the soundtrack is very good. It has some misses, and Tyler doesn't like most of it. I'll say it for him. He doesn't like Ready as I'll Ever Be. He thinks it's overhyped. Fucking disagree.
It is.
Personally.
It's just like, it's all...
Yeah, Ready as I'll Ever...
It's just
Ready as
table
I'll Ever Be
dressing.
is great, and same with this was from Queen for a Day, and I'm like, okay, Jeremy Jordan, you sold me. Let me make you proud. That song and the reprise is amazing.
Why I don't like it?
I remember watching a review though from Hezzy Reviews.
No!
And I don't know how valid her point is.
Like, it's just like, and it's just like, it just feels like table dressing to me. It's manipulative. Like, they're using the song as hype to get through what the past season was just very bland, generic kid show fluff. And it's sort of the wrong genre for me as well, because if you know anything about me, I'm a rock and roll guy. Like, it doesn't even have to be a guitar. It just has to be some acoustic guitar. It just has to be, something other than just Broadway, Disney, sing-songy. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just do anything in genre other than that.
Yeah.
For the 500th time.
Okay, but this is a show about with Tangled, which is very much the Disney musical theater formula. That hasn't been that... Like, Tangled, the movie itself was the first Disney movie in a long time since the Renaissance to be a traditional musical. Because, Disney had it rough in the 2000s. And Tangled was kind of a landmark for bringing that back.
Yeah,
I think it's
Princess and the Frog deserved that credit, but then it got buried.
But the songs were actually good. The songs were actually great in that because they were of a different genre. Because I love black music.
Yeah, it was a change of pace, but it still embraced like the '90s stuff without beating your head with it. So I can understand why you prefer that over this. I didn't know it was Randy Newman.
The show was allergic to. The show was allergic to genre changing.
It does it a bit, and there is guitar in Raise Lorby, but it's buried by the brass, so I get what you mean with that.
Again, Crossing the Line is just so good.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But you were right. It is... On its own, I can see why it blew up, because you can just take out Varian's name mentioned, and you can put it in any context. That's why it's the only cultural impact the show had. Because everyone was making their own versions with different franchises, and it was like...
It was cringe.
But I could see why. You can apply that in a way. But you're right about being manipulative in context, because it directly follows all of Frederick's shit, and it's just like, okay, like, you're just, again, damage controlling. The final battle and stuff is all really cool too, but I was gonna say, Ava, since you mentioned Let Me Make You Proud, I watched Hezzy Review's video. I think that's her name. It's the guy everyone said, oh, she made the shitty Owl House is overrated video. I mean, I don't know how good that video is.
It is overrated, though.
I haven't seen the show. I'm not going to watch the video yet, but I could see that being a valid point. But anyway, in her Tangled video, she was like, bro, why are you singing this song while you're trying to race to save your dad from being frozen? And I'm like, well, it's going to be frozen either way. I think it feels fair enough in the moment for dramatic stuff, I guess. But I could see that argument being made where it's like, yeah, sometimes you got to place the musical theater just right, and then boom, you got it. So
even if you remove the musical context, keep in mind Varian's 14 years old.
Right.
So, like, he may be an alchemist genius, but he's still a young preteen
He's a
boy.
kid, and it makes sense his rash move to evil. Unlike Cassandra, which we'll get to, where it seems like we just had to remove common sense, which she had. That was her great
lie
trait.
About him attacking Rapunzel as an excuse to brand him as a criminal too.
Yeah, it's just like.
Which that moment in Queen for a Day, I'm like, well, for one, it was a really good test in terms of Rapunzel's morality. Like, one, she's placed as the temporary queen, yet she also is torn between helping Varian, a very close friend. I feel like that's, at least from what I remember, that was a good moment of Rapunzel realizing, really learning how friendship works, and that, sometimes her actions can really hurt people, even if it's in her own good. But like the decision to not help Varian in that moment because there was so much going on. Like, of course, Varian's going to be upset.
Yeah.
But
and despite Rapunzel trying to repair the moment, Varian's gone insane. He's still stuck on that. Like, I get chills at some of those moments in the finale. Like when she's like, no, Dad, I gotta do this. And then Varian's like, she's right, Dad. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, this dude's gone off the rail. And then later when he picks up Cass, is like, I knew I could sweep you off your feet. It's like, oh my God, and he kidnapped the queen. Like, I get why they threw him in that cell. Jesus Christ. This is like, man,
Like, at least they didn't threaten to kill him like they did.
That's good. I am glad they didn't do that.
Stealing a crown. So it looks like they're getting better, but then, now that we're basically wrapping up season 1, once we get to season 3, oh boy, I know for a fact it's gonna
Tyler's probably
get worse.
gonna explode spontaneously.
What? Explode with what?
First, we got the title change, aka season 2.
Yeah.
Which...
actually, wait. Hold on. Do we want to give season 1 scores? I give it a 6. Honestly.
I give it a 3. I give it a 1. It is boring as sin, and it hurts to watch apart from the manipulative table dressing episodes, aka the story ones.
I can't even rank the season because it makes me too angry to do so.
The show is just boring. There's nothing in it worthwhile.
Tyler just kind of rolls the whole show together. I like to think of it as like 3 shows clashing. It's like a million writers in the room having a tug of war. But let's get into season 2 because
it's Alvin and the Chipmunks, but Tangled, road trippy.
I can't think of a funny spin on that. Maybe I'll put it on the screen, whatever. Anyway, I think the start of season 2, they easily peak. At least in my opinion, that is my favorite episodes Beyond the Corona Walls because, they actually do have all this intriguing setup. We're getting all this fresh scenery, and I especially love that we start getting like all this backstory. I mean, we technically did with Lance, but we really get into Eugene's backstory. Like they don't hold back punches. They actually have fucking he has this like mob boss and like his fucking daughter as his ex, and it's like, holy shit. It like that again, that's the only time I'm like really into the proposal thing, because it's like, having that right before and then Rapunzel seeing him with another girl, it's just like a punch to the gut. It's so it's just actually so emotionally effective.
And the song that comes in that episode, like, I still think about how
I love that the line that they use to foreshadow it, like throughout the whole not the whole series, but throughout the whole season, is that he got in trouble with this mob boss because he took his precious stallion. Stallion as in horse, you think? Nope. Turns out it's actually a woman named Stallion. I will admit that is kind of funny.
That is really clever. And it's just like, if I could take that moment back, it's just so heart-wrenching. That is the only duet they have together in the whole show. Just consider that for a moment. Yeah, it's I in some way I'm not gonna say it's better than I See the Light, but I kind of love it in some ways more. And fun fact, I actually found like a Disneyland thing. They actually played a rendition of the song there, and I was shocked. I was like, they represented the show somehow. It wasn't like validation or anything, but I was just like, wow, that is a good pick for song.
And it's weird because Disney usually doesn't do it unless it's Lilo and Stitch the series.
Yeah.
Can we move on? Are we on season 2 now?
Yeah, we're just talking about season 2 for a minute.
It's just like it's just like why do we have to spend 20 episodes? I was like, going to somewhere. Just get there.
At least it's better than It's better than season 1 because there is more variety. But that said, I did that ratings chart of all the episodes, and yeah, season 2 just goes all over the map. They just do a lot of bizarre things, and like I like Varderos. I do like we spend a bit rehabilitating this dilapidated town, and we get a goofy little Raps and Cass story there. And I will say, season 2 especially is where the prevalence comes of. Yeah, I think the show's just fucking funny. I can't really like quote a lot of moments, but it's like part of how I got into this show was like a bunch like this I forgot the name of the YouTuber. They did like a set of out of context compilations, and yeah, this show's humor is kind of unhinged sometimes. Like at the start of Goodbye Goodwill, like Raps is like, I know. Oh hey, Susie Deltron. Yeah, I know that like Raps is like, yeah, I know she like injured a bunch of people, and then Cass corrects her in the count. I was like, holy shit, Cass has become like unhinged as fuck. I also love the moment in the first episode of season 2 where like Rapunzel and Eugene have like a funny, realistic like exchange of like, do you want to go? No, do you want to go? And Cass is like, all right, I've had fucking enough. Like Cass honestly gets likable in season 2, which is ironic given it's when things start to turn. But
like at least she seems to be, from what I remember, nicer to Eugene. Like she's no longer crapping all over him for having a criminal past, and kind of projecting onto him that he's a dirty little freeloader who gets everything handed to him when, obviously that's not true. But also another thing that I want to say before I forget, because you just reminded me, I hate that Rapunzel has the nickname of Raps in the show. Like,
I like it.
Raps.
It sounds too gang-like, yeah. Like
I call her Raps a lot. It's fine.
I like Punsy. It sounds cute. Raps does not.
What was the name?
Raps.
But
Raps,
no, the name that you proposed.
Punsy, yes.
What name?
Or if anything, they could have done this more frequently because she has her blonde hair. Blondie was right
He does
there.
call her that still.
Yeah,
he calls her a bunch of names. He actually, they keep going back and forth on what Eugene calls her. Like he calls her honey at one point, and I was that line in general was very stilted because he's like saying, "What a romantic first date." I know it's back in season 1, but he was like, "What a romantic first date," and he's talking about the fucking when he got knocked out by a frying pan by her, and it's like, what is he fucking talking about? It's just a weird line. But it's funny we mentioned, because Cass is still crapping on Eugene a bit. I feel like it's justified because Eugene becomes, force of no return. He becomes an insufferable fucking, oh my god. It's like he just becomes so entitled. Rapunzel does in the same season. We'll get there, but
I got my food, so I can finally take this sanity with something.
It's one of the few episodes I took notes on, and I had to skim through it. I could not sit through Zachary Levi's shitty performance because when he's playing up the insufferable side of the character, the flawed side, it makes it so much worse. This is like, oh my god.
Speaking of the acting, Mandy Moore is bad in this show. She sounds too playing down to kids. She's not trying at all.
I think I was harsh to Mandy. I won't say it was because of you, but I will say...
You said she was better in this than in the movie.
I used to.
You say that he's like playing it down in the show, because remember that this came off the heels off of a show that she starred in for preschoolers, Sheriff Callie's Wild West.
Yeah, and they pulled her away.
She basically voiced her character with dignity. So what happened?
Yeah, that she actually cared about that performance. It feels like here, half the time she does get freedom, I can distinctly tell what delivery she could do and have fun with, and what others the directors told her to play down a certain way, and that's a real shame.
It was for a paycheck.
One moment that I do remember from season 2 that was like very much Rapunzel hitting her limits, which is an episode I remember being so pissed because of the character in it. Keeper of the Spire with Calliope. Holy shit,
oh my god, that episode is fucking awful.
What episode was it?
Spire! Oh, she is an annoying bitch. She is a stereotype of nerds.
It's the one time
It's you, but if you were uncomfortable, and I wanted to kill you.
I feel you. I dealt with people like that before.
Rapunzel's reactions to her bullshit are the only thing good about that episode. Everything else is... Oh, it's grating.
And then the reveal that, oh, Calliope didn't actually have the spire. So I'm like, oh, so this whole thing was for nothing.
Man. And speaking of, since I said stereotypes, Tyler really loved ragging on stereotypes in this show. They do them a lot.
Like, there's the episode where there's like some Mexican wrestling, and I thought that shit was surface level and borderline stereotyping.
Yeah, I was enjoying that episode. I actually really loved that episode, but Tyler was bitching the whole way through about that, and I was like, well, dude, like, wait, this has been a common problem in the show. It's not exclusive to that. Like, the fucking
I don't remember the Mexican wrestling at all, but I'm just gonna give like my perspective since I am Latina, like specifically Argentinian. So not the same blood, but close enough. But basically, when it comes to specific Spanish stereotypes, usually I don't get offended by them. Like, I don't remember how it was done in the show, but basically my rule of thumb is if it's funny, it's okay.
And it's not. None of the stereotypes are funny, which, except maybe the Leaf people. You know what? Let's talk about the Leaf people. Fuck it.
No. We forgot Adira. She's introduced at the start of the season.
Oh, yeah, Adira. I have nothing to say about her. She is an NPC with a Mario 2 and the Mario 2 enemy face. That's all I can see. She has the only character trait she has is she calls the others nicknames for simplicity, and I'm like, brother, just remember their name. That's not even funny.
Yeah, you're not even a spy, so what are you doing?
Yeah, like, here's the thing with Adira. Like, I remember being intrigued by her character because of how mysterious she was. And I'm like, okay, we're going to get more revealed about her. And that leads to a thing I remember in season 2 that really, I'm like, okay, we didn't really get revealed that much. It was more subtle. And that's the whole reveal with the Moon Kingdom. I'm like, I felt like they were going to expand on it more, but they...
The Dog Kingdom. Guys, that's such a boring name. That, like, call it, like, the Kingdom of Umbra. That's, like, a perfect... Like, Corona, Umbra, it just hits the tongue right, honestly.
Yeah,
and the fact that leads to another character who's sort of related to Adira, because we learned that Kieran, Varian's dad, was one of the guards.
The Brotherhood. It was called the Brotherhood, but yeah.
Yeah, the Brotherhood. I don't remember Kieran telling Varian any of this. I'm like, I thought we were going to get a scene where Varian finds this out and, like, probably still loves him because, you know, this is
Adira mentions Varian, and they don't go anywhere with that. He gets a mention and, like, that cameo on the Island episodes, and that's it. That's all you get with him in season 2.
If anything, I would have been something I realized that, because obviously with season 2, this addresses what we find out about Eugene. Honestly, I felt like it would have been more fitting if Varian was the Prince of the Moon Kingdom. Because we never get an explanation on the blue streak in his hair at all.
Yeah, like, the blue streak is something I'm pissed at.
It's a character design quirk. We're thinking, we're going into conspiratorial side. Why are we giving so much of a shit about a blue streak in his hair? That's an obvious
because they put it's so random. It's just, and the moonstone's right there. It just makes sense. I'm gonna have it in my rewrite because Cassandra and Varian both get the power. And Cassandra,
you're doing a rewrite. Oh my god!
You already knew this. You already knew this. Are you having a short-term memory right now?
You don't agree with me. Do you know who you're dealing with?
When it comes to season 2, I feel like there's not a lot in general that I remember compared to season 1 for the overarching thing.
Yeah.
But something that kind of irked me the wrong way is how, like, since you went into how Eugene was starting to become insufferable, Rapunzel, like, her becoming insufferable was more memorable to me for a couple of reasons.
Tree. Like, oh my god, that episode.
Yes, the tree. Yes, exactly. So, like, I think the problem is that the writers wanted to have they wanted to repeat what happened with Queen for a day, but the problem is that they couldn't even justify themselves why she would do it, because Cass literally told her that they could just use the spear, which was sitting right next to her, and Rapunzel refused to, instead burning off Cass's hand, essentially.
Well, even earlier in the episode.
The worst thing is that the next episode that follows right after, so Rapunzel is fully aware that Cass copes differently than she does. Right. But she doesn't like that people don't cope the way she does, and she starts to become controlling to the point where she oversteps her boundaries with Cass. It gets her memory wiped, and suddenly they're recreating scenes of the original movie, but
fan service, my favorite.
It feels so in your face with that. Like, Rapunzel Day 1, I remember you guys are just trying to capture the original movie. Sorry, it didn't
Tyler
work.
was asleep for half
Not
of
just
that
that, but like
episode.
it kind of feels like. Do you guys remember
Which
like
episode is
craze
it? The
back
one
in the
that goes to,
day
like,
where it
some
was like
palace?
Mavis and Rapunzel were being shipped together, like Mavis from Hotel
Mavis?
Transylvania?
Who the fuck is
I
Mavis?
low-key think that like I low-key think that some of the crew kind of wanted, like they kind of preferred Rapunzel to be with that character from another franchise, and were like, well, Cass looks like Mavis, so why not have us tease Rapunzel and Cass, even though Rapunzel is a taken woman and is going to marry Eugene regardless.
Okay, V, I'm confused. Is there a character in this show named Mavis?
No. She was talking about Mavis.
No,
from
I'm
Hotel
not talking about in the show. Like, the craze was that it was a crossover ship with Mavis Dracula from Hotel Transylvania being shipped with Rapunzel.
And funnily enough, Disney Channel did do a Hotel Transylvania show I will never watch because it's a waste of time. Anyway, Tyler, you were asleep.
We're not going to. That one's more overtly. We're not going to pay attention to the canon.
I was just utterly sleep deprived and tired of the show at that point, so I just said fuck it and I just dozed off.
He fell asleep at the end of, and I really hate how in some episode orderings, I think it's different in others, but some episode orderings they have the brothers hook between Great Tree and Rapunzel Day One. I'm like, so you're just stalling for time with the fucking resolving Raps and Cass's conflict. Nice, but he fell asleep at the end of Brothers Hook and half of Rapunzel Day One.
That wasn't a bit, by the way. I actually fell asleep.
I know you did, and I started up again, and he was like, "Just keep going. It's fine. I don't need the context." So that's why he was a little confused, because it's like I had to watch a bunch of season 3 filler without him. He was fucking done like halfway through. He tried. He generally did. I watched the whole thing through. I think maybe I watched the dragon one fucking fragmented because that's not important to anything. The dragon is not in the fucking finale, so what does it matter? You could have used that dragon to fight. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
You know, season 3 is bad when I barely remember any of the filler episodes of season 3 because that was at the point
filler
where
of the
like,
show is so dumb, dude. Like it's season 3.
I completely forgot there was a dragon in the show. I'm like, wait, what?
No, I keep forgetting too. Trust me.
Filler is dumb, but also the overall story is also dumb to me because like going back to Eugene being the prince of the what was it, the Moon Kingdom?
Yep, the Moon Kingdom.
The Dark Kingdom actually is what it's called.
That's such a generic name.
It's generic either way. Kingdom of Umbra, right there, guys.
Like cool even name. Then, like I feel like the whole time when they're not trying to push their own agenda, you know exactly who I'm talking about, guys. But anyways, when they're not trying to push their own agenda onto something that they disagree with from the Tangled movie, I feel like they were trying to overcompensate by making Eugene a prince at birth because now we have an actual reason for why he actually is worthy of Rapunzel's love when that was never needed.
Yeah, I like.
He already proved himself in the movie.
Yeah, and it's like, think about it. Cinderella, Belle, and Tiana were not princesses from birth. They married into royalty, yet no one ever called into question if they were worthy of their princes. But are we going to do that for all princes who aren't born into royalty? Because the same thing happened to Aladdin, and frankly, John Smith and Kristoff don't count because Frozen is not part of the Disney Princess
Aladdin
brand,
and the King of
John
Thieves
Smith didn't even end up with Pocahontas in the end, so...
Yeah, Aladdin and the King of Thieves is good on like this because they take the time to like explore the implications and just they actually take a moment of him exploring that choice. Unlike here, where I love the idea and I actually love King Edmund. I like how he's intimidating at first and this menacing, mysterious thing, and then when Eugene and him reunite, he's just such a goofy guy. I love that. I like the movie references there aren't too bad because it's just it's
like if anything, King Edmund's characterization is what I wish King Frederick had. That goofy dad. That would have been more entertaining than what we actually thought with Frederick.
Which we did kind of get.
Yeah.
In season 3, we find out Rapunzel's parents' memories get erased, and there's that episode where Rapunzel's trying to rekindle the love for each other, and her dad is like weirdly obsessed with fucking eggs. I'm like, bro, this is what I wanted more of. This weird shit. Like, what?
It's just like I think season 2 on the whole.
You know it's bad when I think that I like him better when he's silenced or lobotomized.
I think it's season 2 just generally pairs better with filler episodes. Like there's that one with the mirror. The one with the mirror.
That was one of my favorite ones. I love that episode. That was fun.
It was fun. It was very fun. Like Rapunzel's just like Cass is just like with Lance is just like, oh, do you like that thing? And it's just like, got a problem.
Oh, that was the episode after when they turned into babies because hey, we got to rip off SpongeBob but yeah, Lance
Wait,
is
that
like,
reminds me of what happened in the Mario Galaxy movie where they just turned into babies for an entire scene.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
We won't talk about Mario here. We did rewatch the Mario movies the day before this, so yeah, they're fine. That scene was whatever. I don't care. Yeah, Lance is like, you like tops, and Cass is like, you got a problem with that? That was a clever joke, guys. What the fuck? you just fueled a bunch of simps there. But yeah, Mirror Mirror, that's one of my particular indicators of them riding the line between like doing this cool supernatural stuff that's taken seriously, but also being really fucking funny. The opening exchange of that episode is incredible. They're all just getting annoyed at each other so randomly, and it keeps escalating. And Rapunzel's like, all right, guys, we should probably just calm down. Lance is up there just whistling, and Rapunzel's like, if you don't stop that, I will throttle you. I was losing my shit. And then later in the episode, I don't know if Tyler could hear it clearly, because I didn't have my mic settings figured out at the time, but it's probably the best movie fan service in the show, in my opinion. When Eugene is facing off Demon Rapunzel, and he does the smolder, and it works, and Rapunzel's fucking reaction makes me lose my shit every time. They did the moment, everything. I was like,
right there.
I was like crying. I was like, guys, you finally did it. You actually took something from the movie and made it fucking even funnier somehow. Like, I have to commend that. Like, that's really well done. Something else on the other end of the spectrum, though, something that makes me lose my shit in a not good way with this season. Leaf people, like
the island episode is just a total shit.
I forgot about the leaf people.
The lore with them, dude.
There was literally talking leaves in this show. Damn. Okay.
They have the weird accents. They can reproduce somehow.
Wait,
they fucking
hello, thank you, come again. Don't they do that with them? Or
kinda, not really. They have it's just a shitty stereotypical German thing. They have the giant ass firefly, and like they worship gods. They think Pascal's a god. And I'm like, what?
No. Wait, that just made me realize that's the stereotyping of religion. That's just religion stereotyping.
Yeah, and then the episode after, Hookfoot is simping for like a fucking mermaid, and she's like, and she's tied to like this underground mob of like fucking sea titans, and I'm like, huh? And then the episode after that, we find out about this spyglass thing that the Leaf people have like a fucking curse with. I'm like, oh my god, guys, you gave us all this Leaf people lore for no reason.
Remember? And you know that, and of course the infamous scene with the infamous hot pepper scene where
the hot pepper scene. Did they
Whoever's
forget?
Boarding that was drawing it with one hand, jacking off. I know for
did they forget that was for a kid's show? I like, again, you're spending.
They were making it for a porno.
That pepper scene is really funny to me still, but it's also bad because it's an indicator of like, oh yeah, we really are prioritizing. You're making Raps and Cass have all these sensual expressions. I'm like, you really did that. Cass, you really went that far. More than Rapunzel and Eugene. They do that sometimes with Rapunzel and Eugene, but not a lot. And I'm like, I remember one particular moment from the monkey. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about the monkey. Fucking hell.
The fucking monkey.
Oh yeah, the monkey. Wasn't that part of the credits in the original movie?
Yeah, it was a delete. So it was a deleted scene from the original film, and they cut it because it was like, oh, they just spoil Eugene's death at the end. Oh well, like we just gotta get that out. We can build up to that better. But the monkey design was kept in the credits, and I actually like the idea. They took that and did something crazy. What I don't like is they not only took 2 filler episodes, and then the third one we meet him is when we have the fucking thing. Actually, I need to sidetrack for a second because the stereotype woman that came with the monkey, she's probably the worst stereotype of the show. And, all right, Tyler, I gotta mention him.
Oh my god.
Fans did complain about it, and Chris Sonnenberg
responded. Nope, I'm not touching that. Bye, everyone. Have a nice.
Bye. Okay, now that you've opened up the can of worms for Chris Sonnenberg, once you are done, I have to go on like a long rant about this because it's because of you that I know about all of that stuff.
Yeah, so
hi, Tyler, welcome back.
It's not conspiracy because the posts are right there. That Reddit post has all the links. Like, Reddit isn't entirely a shitty site. That page is pretty good at detailing what might have.
There's no physical evidence like with John Lasseter, so I don't
there's posts. There's posts.
And I said physical evidence
confirmation from the creator himself, because like I remember he said that he based Frederick and Rapunzel's relationship off of himself and his own daughters, and when I read that, my jaw dropped. It's like,
so he abuses his daughters. Wow. Okay.
We don't know that for sure though. Stop making shit up about a man.
True, but like it's still there.
Well, he made the admission, so it's
I don't
possible.
know.
But to instantly assume that he abuses his daughter is just fucking disgusting. I am not supporting you.
But at the same time, Tyler, okay, I am admitting it's not just Chris. All these other writers in the room who followed along with it are to blame, and the executives who told him, like the only way they like bit him in the ass for doing this show the way he did was by not marketing it. Which by that point, just don't do the show, cancel it.
Remember when I said about Casser? Like someone was drawing that pepper scene with one hand. They were obsessed with making her look hot and sensual.
In season 3, yeah, I just realized I forgot to give you my birthday present. That shot is like, bro. You are.
Why did they put so much effort into the mannerisms and the gestures just for that one couple second shot?
It's almost like it's bait. I wonder. But yeah. Basically what happened was, and it happened to Varian fans too. Chris did replies that came off as dismissive or even just straight condescending. He said to Varian fans, he was like, don't let a great show pass you by trying to focus on a character. And I'm like, you didn't focus on the character later, you piece of shit. And then
it reminds me of a lot of fans.
If you're watching the show for Varian, you're not watching it the right way.
That is so heartless. I'm sorry.
This reminds me a lot of what John Crickfalusi used to do on his blog by calling other shows like Ben 10 and Avatar gay. That's just what it reminds me of.
It also reminds me of what Thomas Struck tried to do.
Yeah, I've heard
comparing Hawkmoth to Chloe.
I'm friends with a girl.
Why Hawkmoth is able to be redeemed while Chloe, a teenager who the worst thing she's ever done is mildly bully the main character, is apparently an irredeemable monster.
What show are you talking about?
Miraculous Ladybug.
Yeah, I'm friends with a girl who Tyler knows the name of. We're not going to say her name here, but
we're just going to call her Pigeon here.
Pigeon, yeah, that's her username. Like Pigeon, she watched Miraculous. She basically has the bond with that show. I do Tangled the series. I think I could be wrong, but she used to like go on she like hinted me towards the Thomas Asterisk shit, and I looked that up. I was like, oh, so it's just Chris. Okay.
I had the reverse response when you showed me the Chris stuff, where I'm like, oh, so basically this is just American Thomas Struck. Good to know.
Yeah, and he like. But yeah, for the stereotype thing, he just responded by saying, I'm logging off this site, goodbye. He just basically closed off the fans. But yeah, he actually like was on, supposedly according to that Reddit thing, he was on, and there's screenshots, he was on like a Discord server, and he was like he was talking, he was able to like, he was answering questions about season 3, and he like, I guess responded to like someone who was like, oh yeah, Rapunzel's awesome, and then he was like, you are the real fans this show is made for. And after that, they banned him from the Discord. They were like, oh, hell no. So,
I can only imagine if I was in the Discord server and I like pointed out that Rapunzel's not at all like the movie. I wonder if he would have insulted my intelligence and been all like, if you don't like Rapunzel, get out of here, man.
Yeah, like, that really is harsh. It really is really a shame. Anyway, so that might be the biggest emphasis we put on Chris. I mean, we obviously know Cass is his OC.
Can we just move on now? Let's just gloss over Chris now for the rest of this.
So then...
Did we talk enough about season 2? Like, are we ready?
There's one more thing I need to talk about.
Because the finale, the twist.
Well, hold on. So let me check here the list real quick. I know we got to time this quickly here, relatively. So,
I've still got an hour left.
I did mention I Am Picasso, which has the sumo wrestling. I wish we got more episodes about Stallion because, man, like, I really like...
Stallion again?
Eugene's ex, and I like the idea. Like obviously I haven't seen many shows, so
why do they design the fucking woman characters these guys fall for with such objectification?
Yeah, they really did. I don't know. There's some horny fucking people.
Stallion is just meant to. Stallion's design just screams, "I am the token sexy girl for this freeloader."
God, yeah, they were trying to make her look like a what's the appropriate word I can use here? Fuck. But like
you can use a word. This is not a fucking.
She's slightly prostitute-y, I'll just say that. But
she's a slut.
Honestly, when it comes to character design like that, it's hard for me sometimes to tell which ones are meant to be perceived that way and which ones are just, which ones are, I guess, I don't know.
What was that line from Jessica Rabbit again?
My whole thing is that, like,
I'm just
if this is true, like, I'd have to look at the character designs again, but if this is true,
I'll pull it up here.
I'm just gonna say it. Tangled the series is way closer to the 2010s BuzzFeed mentality of anti-Disney princess than the actual Disney princess movies are.
Yeah. Here, I'll put the design here, but I love in that episode, like, how I don't appreciate them also, like, making jokes about, oh, if you don't go and get her help to get the artifact, your friends are going to be sent to slave mines. And they treat that like a joke. They don't take it seriously. They look like a painting and are like, ew, that's nasty. And it's like, come on, guys. Tone, am I right? Great Tree also
the captain of the guard threatened to throw Eugene in the dungeon for trying to tell him that he was wrong about something in season 1, where it's like, you don't have authority to do that. Rapunzel's gonna force you to let him go.
And Great Tree was another good example of tone where, like, while Rapunzel, we forgot to mention the Dark Incantation. It doesn't even do anything in the show other than free variants, so who fucking cares? And burns Cass's hand, but that also, that doesn't go anywhere. We burn her hand. They forgot she burnt her hand, but what was it? Yeah, she's doing the Dark Incantation, and in the other room, Eugene and Lance are singing the Buddy song while high on a plant. I'm like, what the fuck? You guys need to not contrast the tone like that.
Like, I mean, putting aside the out of context, the Buddy song is enjoyable. I will admit that.
I think it's good. I didn't love it. Also, I keep forgetting a lot of things. I'm sorry. I have a lot with season 2. But in that same episode, the caravan chase is really cool, but then it just fucking ends in the dumbest way. I sent the screenshot here. I remember saying it to V, and she was like, what, the spaghetti noodle? Oh my god! How? Her hair is...
I forgot about that!
The characters always have conveniences with the hair. There's no fall damage. There's no stakes. Because in every single action scene, Rapunzel's hair and frying pans. Those are all you need to save the day, I guess. And it's like, lame. Like, you guys, you could have actual obstacles. And it's just like, man, I don't know. It's just fucking...
It's like a weird compensation for the fact that they can't even, because of their own logic, she can't even heal people with the hair, even when she has it back. And okay, I am looking at Stallion now, and yeah, I definitely see a little bit of the male gaze there.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah. But I like the direction they were going. I love that Rapunzel is the one, you know? You think, like, you know, she'd be, like, trying to, like, fucking, like, attack her and shit, given what happened in the season 2 review, but no, she's just trying to get her to have a change of heart, and she does seem like she's going to by the end. And, in fact, in the group shot at the end of the show, I swear, they might have cut an episode or something. This is a conspiracy theory. I bet they cut an episode because you see Stallion holding hands with, like, the Flynn Poster guy. And I'm like, huh. Alright, so those two got together. And they put the Flynn Poster one awkwardly before the penultimate episode of the series finale. So I'm like, maybe they had something here and then just got it shafted. I don't know. It's really interesting to think about. Again, there's like a lot with season 2.
Yeah, she looks like a fucking whore. Like, who is designing this?
It sucks because her outfit is really pretty. It's just the
proportions.
Is a bit too small.
The proportions are so exaggerated.
It looks like a damn hourglass.
Fuck that shit.
Like, it's like they wanted Jessica Rabbit, but weren't able to commit or do it tastefully.
Yeah.
Like at least with Jessica Rabbit, she's in on the joke. The animators are self-aware of it.
Yeah.
And the character.
Yeah, and like, at least they don't go too far with, like, you know,
Apart from that one joke where like Bob Hoskins like fucking hits her boobs.
Yeah, that one kind of goes a bit far, but I don't know.
Again, that's when PG had more of an edge to it, so you can't really fault the movie for that.
Yeah. So for
at least it's not. At least Who Framed Roger Rabbit, given that it was released under I think the other label, Touchstone Pictures, like it was meant for an older audience compared to Tangled the series, which was airing on Disney Channel.
This show really has a problem trying to figure out its demographic because you got all this constant like fucked up like possession and dads getting frozen.
Let's go on a side tangent for that. Who do we think this show is for? Let's give our honest opinions on what demographic each one of us thinks this show is for.
So what I think happened is they were trying to aim for, I want to say, like late elementary schoolers, early middle schoolers. But then what happened was Ready as I'll Ever Be and Variant, and it caught on to teens and adults. So they were trying desperately to come up with ways to like keep appealing to them midway through the process. And there seemingly was, I have to assume there was some 11th hour changes, not just because of Chris's shenanigans, but like season 3 especially screams to me like with Cass's sensuality and Varian's still getting all these goofy moments despite his redemption being rushed. We'll get to that. Fucking hell. It just screams to me they didn't know how to retrofit it because season 1 had done all this generic kids show fluff, and then season 2 is just throwing everything down the kitchen sink, and then season 3 is like a weird middle ground, and it's like there was no cohesive vision. That's why I said all 3 seasons feel like different shows, because it keeps fumbling on itself, and I think that's a damn shame. That's why they didn't market it after a while. Because generally, even Disney was wondering, what the fuck is this? And Disney at the time, they weren't having quality control. There was your Wreck-It Ralph 2, your Frozen 2, Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, even if that's just kind of mid. I don't know. I guess I can understand where they were thinking with like, because with Owl House, that was petty. That was unfair. I don't like. I know Tyler, you think it's overrated, but I can.
What did I say was overrated?
I am never going to forgive Disney for what they did to the Owl House.
That is a darn shame.
I say it's overrated because Trevor and his fucking hive mind won't shut the fuck up about it. Like what I see, it's just
Ava's literally right here. But yeah, like
yeah, and I say this because I'm also drinking from my Knights of Guinevere cup because yes, I am full on.
Dana, I respect a hell of a lot. And like Alex Hirsch too, and it's like a damn shame that he didn't get to have like LGBTQ stuff on Gravity Falls. Apparently he just did what he was told. And as much as I love Gravity Falls, the very
end when he was able to get explicit in a bubbling way with the cops.
Oh, true. Yeah, I forgot about that. I need to rewatch Gravity Falls. That is a far superior show to what we're talking about.
But never seen Gravity Falls.
So tragic.
Really?
Like Disney refused to believe that it was one of their like most popular shows at the moment, like bringing in all the views, and they didn't take that seriously until it was too late. Like they had already canceled it, and then they saw like the show up for Comic-Con, I think, and they were like, "Oh no, we made a big mistake."
Yeah.
Yep. And now Disney is creating a film that is very much obviously them coping with the fact that they fucked up with the Owl House.
I'm not going to assume anything.
Disney just.
I'm not going to jump to any conclusions.
But like Disney hasn't learned anything because I'm pretty sure that after the Owl House ended, they haven't released a single cartoon that has made it to a 3rd season or a proper conclusion. Like the Ghost and Molly McGee is my go-to example because I don't watch that show. It doesn't really grab me, but I did a lot of research because I'm an Alpha J Show fan, so I watched his video on Ghost and Molly McGee, and it's like, it was supposed to get the 3rd season, but then management shifted, and the CEO was like, hey, you know what? I know the show was greenlit, but screw you, I'm gonna cancel it anyway, because I'm the boss now, so listen to me and obey me.
I was gonna say this for a while, but people just pretend to care about these shows whenever they get canceled because they weren't caring about them when they're airing, but now when they die, it's suddenly a big uproar.
Well, it's also again marketing problems because like those who did see Tangled the series while it was airing did care. Which say what you will about the quality.
I'm not talking about Tangled. I'm talking about any of those other shows.
Tangled is a prime example.
Like, basically, Tangled and Big Hero 6 got an exception because they were based on, like, actual movies that Disney had made. So, of course, they're going to give them a full run.
Well, not even Big Hero 6, because what happened, from what I know, my aunt watched that show fully, and I've heard horror stories. Like, Season 2 ended on a cliffhanger, just like Tangled, and we should get to that in a minute. But yeah, they fucking didn't follow through with it apparently because Disney told them to do more comedy. So they basically just dropped the story they were doing, and I pity the people who were following it because that probably might have been at least slightly compelling. I didn't care for the original film that much. It's good, but man, that really is a damn shame that Disney just doesn't let shows finish their fucking story. Dana got lucky being able to finish hers. Like, this shit's just man. But and like Disney just hasn't had a heartfelt cultural impact in a decade. Maybe Wreck-It Ralph too, but that movie's
Disney Channel is just generally a shitty network.
The only cultural impact that Disney has left, like not counting the shows, obviously, was Encanto.
And Zootopia too.
Like Zootopia 2 was the first good film that they've made since Encanto, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Zootopia,
Encanto is just like I haven't seen it.
People are constantly trying to make up their minds on whether they like Zootopia or if they don't. Because one minute they'll be saying, this is the movie that we need. And then the next day they'll be saying, oh, this movie is way too tame. We needed Disney to make a Beastars film instead. And it's like, can you guys pick a lane, please?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Encanto, but I've been told by friends it just does the whole Coco family thing, and I already hated it there because of how close it ties to my life. So if they do it there, then I just just to watch it.
It does do it, and
the way
then I refuse.
The generational trauma is compelling. Like
at least with Encanto, like the thing is, it's also wish fulfillment for Latinos because a lot of people in our community, like, thankfully I don't have this kind of family, but a lot of people do have that same kind of household, and they wish that they could have their parents or grandparents, you know, finally see their worth and apologize to them. And the fact that, like, it has to be earned from the people above. So it's like how I compared Alma in my video to Frederick, where Frederick does nothing to try to redeem himself. He only just explains to Rapunzel why he does the things he does and expects her to just, you know, be okay with him, even though he never apologized personally or tried to make up for hurting her. Whereas at least for Alma, like, her problem was obviously that she couldn't see the forest for the trees, and of course she does learn. Like, of course we can believe that she would apologize to Mirabel and want to be better. Because, you know,
I think we're kind of getting off. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, we've been sidetracking hard.
I think it's because we really don't want to talk about season 3.
True.
We're gonna get.
But the
break
thing
the cliche now. All season 3s of these shows aren't bad. We're just idiots.
Okay, well, hold on.
Like, literally, at this point, it's like we'd probably rather talk about anything except how Tangled ended, because it is the pinnacle of.
We haven't even talked about season 2 finale yet.
Yeah, well, hold on. Everybody, slow down. Holy shit! Even I'm getting overwhelmed now. So, but to tie off the unrelated discussion from Tangled, because yes, I think we are holding it off a little bit on purpose. Yes, Encanto is good from what I remember. I need to rewatch it, and I do. It's the only, because in that era they were spamming the fucking generational trauma. They did it in Raya. They also did it in Turning Red, which that's a discussion for another day. I fucking hate Turning Red now.
And I generally hate Pixar now because they're a wash studio.
Pixar is weird, man. We won't talk about the movie in the room. There's probably a trailer out for it. I don't give a fuck. We're talking about this. This is more important. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so if we're going to get into Cass's twist, this is the perfect time for segueing into season 3, because it's basically finale and premiere 2-parters. So let's get into it.
All right. So first off, go ahead.
I get to talk.
Yeah.
So I actually admire them, like what they did with Cass. I admire she said, "Fuck you! I'm not gonna stay in your shadow as you get all the privilege and shit on a silver platter when I've had to work my whole life just to get what I want."
Even if
her being a villain, I love that.
Even if it's partially out of nowhere, given how Rapunzel treats her awfully in season 2, I actually side with Cass.
She's constantly in her shadow in both first 2
Waiting in the
combined.
Wings again. Phenomenal song, because anyone can relate to that struggle of being sidelined. That is no wonder it got the Emmy. That's a powerful song. But yeah,
it's a great song.
Yeah, and at the start of the season 3 premiere, you know, we get the Gothel backstory. I was gonna mention this. They conflict. So Xantiri is called he up to Great Tree, But then from after that, and that's where I think the shuffle happened in production. It's because it's now a she. And I'm like, what? And I'm pretty sure they conflict on some details of like whether like Gothel was a pupil fur, which would have implied she was thousands of years old. Which, yeah, that now you're just literally shitting all over the original movie's rules. Okay, great. I mean, to be fair,
how long was she using the magical golden flower?
To be fair, yeah, how is that flower surviving so long? Again, there's some thin logic to the movie, but I can excuse that because it's a good story, unlike this. But
yeah, no, it mostly works.
But yeah, the Gothel backstory reveal is so heart-wrenching because, yeah, it's just so sudden. But I was getting pissed immediately, and I feel bad for intruding on Tyler in the moment because that Waiting in the Wings reprise is also extremely powerful. Having Eden Espinosa, who's probably the best actress in the show. There you go. I said it, Tyler.
And Broadway actress, she went on to play Elphaba, which that will be sort of related when we get to the twist of cast. Because the more I think about it, this is basically Wicked done worse. Now that I think about it.
I haven't seen Wicked. I know it's Broadway theater slop.
I saw a bit of the movie with Ava and others and Trevor, so it's pretty solid actually. I know
when they want to get out of the theater.
Yeah, but V, you compared it to like Steven Universe. You said in messages, if you took Steven Universe the movie and put these characters over it, the plot would be so much better. I haven't seen the movie in ages. It's the only Steven Universe thing I saw, and I honestly probably would agree with you if I refreshed my memory. like
legit, the first time I looked through what happened in season 3, I kept thinking to myself, holy crap, they turned Cass into Spinel, which is hilarious because in the Steven Universe fandom, Spinel is also beloved, but similar to Cass, I cannot stand Spinel. Like, I genuinely think that they did the same mistakes that they made with Cass.
I genuinely cannot stand Steven Universe to begin with.
They basically so focused on redeeming Spinel, while Spinel does nothing to deserve it. In fact, she only gets worse the more that they try, to the point where she tries to kill the entire Earth twice.
So is crossing the line basically Cass's other friends?
It's the only rock and roll song in this entire show. Thank the Lord.
Crossing the Line is a banger. I'll give it that, but it's also kind of
Crossing the Line is the first time I heard Crossing the Line, because back when I was watching Tangled the series, that was when I was really getting into musical theater, and the first show I got attached to was Wicked. And the whole time I listened to Crossing the Line, I'm like, this is basically Defying Gravity, Tangled edition.
Tyler likes it.
Yeah, and getting into musical theater was the worst choice you ever made, but don't hear from me. Hear from the guy outside who's
Shut your bitch ass up, you smart aleck. Anyway, yeah, you liked Crossing the Line because it had rock guitars in it. That's the only reason you like that song. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and just generally the vocals were really good too.
Yeah, Eden Espinosa is a godly singer. Jeremy Jordan's already fantastic, and the other singers.
It's like, this song gets me.
Eden's just fucking. You could tell she was the most passionate behind the show, even if she was voicing the creator's pet. Hey, she gave it her all. She made her. I don't think that's her own.
Okay, pause everything. Why did you use that word? Why did you use pet to describe?
It's literally his OC. It's him projecting his lust. He has a wife and kids. Like what the? He's literally John Harassering in this bitch. Yeah.
The objectification is.
But yeah, Tyler got really upset. That opening episode of season 3, after that opening stuff, I mean, midway through it, I was getting upset vocally, and I do feel bad about that. I am sorry, Tyler. It was because you didn't give Cass time to breathe. You had to speed run that. You had her like crying, and then Xantiri's like, "Oh, it was Rapunzel's fault. She was an infant." How are you?
Yeah, and I was crying during that sequence. I had tears coming down my eyes, and you were yelling and shit.
Yeah.
And then they just moved right along.
Yeah.
But the worst part is that they keep trying to imply that the Moonstone makes Cass forget common sense. But the problem is that there's a lot of moments where it's like, oh, it's because of the Moonstone and Xantiri's influence that Cass can't think straight.
I actually know the reason behind that. There were storyboards where she got possessed by Xantiri, and they had to like change it the last second. And I guess like,
and I know they went through a couple of Mooncast designs. I know they went through
one of the artists fucking gave up on redrawing the eyes. But yeah, they got that far along, and then Chris or someone was like, nah, Cass has to do it on her own volition, and I'm like,
Okay, really?
And that's the problem with the common sense thing being lost because of these two things corrupting her. It doesn't work because, well, she chose to take the Moonstone, so she already lost common sense beforehand. And when she later in the finale, keep in mind that she betrays Xantiri first, and she still goes on to do what she was doing, even though by now she knows that Xantiri cannot be trusted at all. So basically,
she should have known that to begin with, because they faced a bunch of demons already. So, like, I don't. Yeah. They've been possessed before. Why?
Like coming up with excuses for her to not take accountability until she's completely powerless. In which case, it comes off as disingenuous. Like, especially since going into the animation, I feel like that clip where she's hugging Rapunzel and crying, it's a really good example of why I don't like this style at all. Like, I like it in concept.
Wait, are you talking about what I think you're talking about from
the art style? I think she's talking about.
Yeah, like basically, I like the concept of it looking like a storybook come to life, but the way that they stylized it, like, I don't know. You know how in the 2000s, a lot of shows that were animated by Flash were called cheap and lazy?
It's not Flash. So this was by Mercury Filmworks, the same company that did Lion Guard and those Mickey Mouse modern shorts, which look a lot better than this. Admittedly. Yeah. Those are fun.
Like, I'm not calling this Flash, but I'm just saying as a comparison.
It's called Toon Boom. That's the software.
Style was back when something similar was constantly called cheap and lazy, unless it was, I guess, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which I do agree with. That's beautiful.
I'm going to go on this little rant here, if I can.
I'm not done yet, Tyler.
No.
So that's how I feel looking at the show, where a lot of the times when the characters try to emote, it looks weird and off-putting, and
Kinda.
It's like, why do they look like this? Okay, now you can go, Tyler.
Okay, it's just like, well, my biggest issue is just how smooth and perfect the animation is. Like, if you know anything about me, is that I'm not a fan of the Disney style where they animate every character all smoothly and perfectly, especially the humans. Like, all the Disney humans look exactly the same. And I just got huge Don Bluth vibes from it. And I'm not a fan of Don Bluth because this shit is just diet Disney. Which is ironic considering he left Disney because he felt, oh, the soul isn't there anymore. And then you made the same soulless shit, which got 13 fucking sequels out of it.
Funny you mentioned Don Bluth because I met him at SAC Anime last week. He was cool.
Oh. Yeah, Don Bluth's style, I don't mind. I don't think it is spectacular either, but like, especially in Secret of Nim, I can appreciate some things about it, even if it is a lot of it's just rotoscoped, bit choppy. But with this show, okay, you made a good point, V, with the facial expressions. Is a lot of them are funny, but then there's others that are like weirdly like robotic. They forgot to like set a lot of the eyes straight. It's kind of like the wonky eye problem in Thomas. I noticed it a lot. And in season 2, Tyler, you might remember this. I got pissed a lot. Rapunzel kept doing these like default poses with like her arm and face a certain way, and I was like, oh my god, I could do a drinking game with this. It's just like a lot of shots were crunched, and I'm like, you spend so much time on like, for example, the camera revolve and Nothing Left to Lose, which looks fantastic. It looks impressive, but also kind of weird. Like the background's just kind of like awkwardly there. It looks weirdly superimposed. I don't know how to describe it. It's like good, but also shit at the same time, given the limitations.
Y'all wish they made the designs more angular. Like Mayor's, like, make Cass's hair more defined. It would have been more striking.
Yeah, instead it's like just stripes, Gothel, woo. I like the curls they kind of do. It's just like, I like some details of the animation. I like sometimes when they're blending the 2D and 3D, the caravan in particular looks pretty cool.
And then there's that shot that everybody fucking uses. The turnaround, that high quality turnaround during
and again, like I said, the background looks kind of off with the characters smoothly rotating, which does look good. It makes me wonder if this was like you could turn around the 2D models. I'd be curious to see the full-on animation process. They don't really outside the pilot documentary, they don't explore that. But you make a good point, V, with like the finale, because some people notice Rapunzel is like her eyebrows and like her general face, I guess, like changes look in some shots, and I'm like, why? It's like so out of nowhere. It's like, was that like an accidental like alternate design? I'm really confused what was with that.
They really did give up at the very end, didn't they?
Yeah. Like
they were just tired of animating the show, and they're like, okay, fuck it, let's just give it everything.
I would be tired too, under whose expense, because he probably overworked those people to hell and back.
He did. Why are we assuming that? He's just a producer. He probably wasn't like doing some.
Yeah, but for executive producer, they sure gave him a lot of priority from the claims we do have.
You have a major conspiratorial beef with that.
I know. I have beef with this man.
Enough about him. I feel like this is partially my fault. Like, I feel like we're getting a little bit too close to the finale when we've barely talked about anything else of season 3.
Right. So back to the premiere of season 3. Does anybody have anything? Back to the premiere of season 3. They brush over the cast stuff. They get back to the kingdom. It's become this. Oh well, first off, Rapunzel's acting really weird. She's like not telling Eugene about her problems. She's like weirdly just starting to close in. I'm like, what are you doing? That's so weird.
Eugene was performatively trying to like, oh, I'm here for you, and then when you do it, you're not there.
Like he's the voice of reason now. After all this time of making him like egotistical, they suddenly turn around and make him like the most sensical one. I'm like, what? And like,
it's like they went back to season 1's characterization out of nowhere.
Well, season 1's like a mix of the two. In season 2, they go extremely hard with him being a dick, and then season 3, he's just like, oh yeah, Rapunzel, I got your back. You need to understand, Cass probably won't come back for you. We'll get to that episode. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, I have so much to say about that.
So, but yeah, they get back to the kingdom. It's turned dystopian. Varian took over with the fucking Andrew guy that Cass seemed like she was dating, but she was based and was like, psych, fuck you, I know you're a criminal. It's like, that was a pretty good episode. They just speedrun Varian's redemption into that half an episode. There's only like 2 scenes before he turns good, and I'm like, what? Like we kind of just blitzed it. I get he's a kid. I get he might have rapid changes, but like I don't know. I think they did him dirty, kind of rushing it. I do like during the airship fight at the end of that, where Rapunzel's like gonna drop off Varian to save the kingdom from the airship attack, and he's like, no, Rapunzel, I gotta do this, and she's like, it's your mess, but it's my kingdom, and I'm like, that line is so good, but also, bro, you fucking speed ran this shit. No, and then they free his dad at the end, and Rapunzel Eugene take over because the parents' memories are erased. Whoopee, hooray! They rushed through all that. That should have been like a couple episodes, honestly. You can still do the double length. Focus that entirely on Cass and her internal struggle. Let's see this from her perspective, and then we go and take care of the Varian thing. That's what I'm doing in my rewrite. Of course. That's why I'm saying these. And then after that, the filler is just the worst it is in the entire show. Like, King Edmund comes in, and again, he's delightful, but he doesn't contribute anything, really. It's just,
The only gag I remember distinctly somewhat laughing at is when it's revealed, Eugene's birth name is revealed to be Horace, which he says is, like, admittedly worse than Eugene. Like, that had me laughing, but that was it. Like, I
found it dumb. I was like, why do we need this? Confuses people more because I know a lot of people still call him Flynn Rider, and I'm like, I'm dead naming him Eugene for a reason. And the show acknowledges that.
Even in Disneyland, he signs as Flynn Rider, and he'll get embarrassed if you call him Eugene.
There was even a gag.
Is there a fucking car in one of your mics? I could hear a car.
Yes, there's a car outside. My mic is very good. In case you didn't know, you can hear me eating and shit when we talk. So
the green ring on Discord has never went away on your profile picture.
Yeah, it's staying because there's constant noise. You probably hear my fan very faintly. Anyway, yeah, like,
and like it also doesn't make sense a little bit because like while the joke could be funny, I feel like it could have been so easy where like since the king had to give up Eugene. What if he did like what some people did, where they leave a note saying, "This is the preferred first name that I want you to keep for my baby."
Yeah, it's like Twitter. He treats it like Twitter. And I just remembered another joke. And I don't know. I remember if it's introduced earlier or they do it at the very last second in the finale for no reason. Like they were gonna have this thing. Oh yeah, it was set up earlier, but it was gonna be like Rapunzel trying to come up with a nickname for Eugene because Eugene calls her so many things. And he's like cringing at it, and it's like, I thought that was cute. But it's like you could have made it more like that, where it's like, because like it feels like everyone hated that name except Edmund, because Edmund is the GOAT. I think what comes down with Edmund is Bruce Campbell's performance. Like, come on, it's the Climb with Chance of Meatballs mayor, your mother car from Cars 2. He's just a funny actor. When he touches animation, it just kills me. I can't explain it. So I had a friend who like he and I like had made a lot of jokes about Eugene and Edmund, and he had this way deeper, more powerful voice. As much as I do love Bruce Campbell's like delivering a lot of the jokes, he can't his voice isn't exactly suited for this, like a lot of the serious bits. He's not like trying. I don't know.
Your mother. Oh, I'm sorry, it was your sister. You know, I can't tell them apart.
yeah, he's just funny. He's a funny guy. But
Good
yeah,
luck with his cancer.
But yeah, after that episode, oh my god, and that's why I had to watch so much of the filler by myself. When we got to the werewolf one, Tyler lost it. I had to like pause.
I completely forgot about that plot line. Like, well, in general, I completely forgot Angry and Red were characters to begin with. That, which is sucks, because remember when I was reading the episodes, because like I said, I haven't seen the show in full since it was airing on TV back in from 2017 to 2020. That's how long the show's been airing.
Isn't it funny that it ended before fucking COVID hit?
It ended the same month as Corona and hit. Bah! Like Disney knew. Disney saw the writing.
The show really is a plague.
It's quarantine. No one's trying to get out.
They weirdly mention Corona a lot in this show. Like, don't you worry. Corona has the best medical professionals in the world. And
Corona. I'm just gonna say, it's hilarious that the kingdom is supposed to be like a Germany kingdom, yet the name of the kingdom is Spanish.
Yeah, and like the architecture is inspired by France.
I just think
they clash a lot of customs. Like apparently a lot of the outfits they wear in the show are like different time periods. We don't think about that. This is like the only franchise where nobody knows what the set time period is. That just goes to show how loose the show makes.
Friends would like to have a word with you.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, like you mentioned, like when I was reading through the episodes, because season 3 is the one I forgot about the most when going into the show. Like,
same.
And probably for good reason, because most of the filler episodes in season 3, I'm like, wait a minute, this happened? I don't remember this.
And that
just goes to show how fucking forgettable the season is. The only thing I remember from season 3 was the repetitive Cass versus Rapunzel arc. That was it.
Guys, unrelated, but just scrolling to Disney Plus here. They put Moana 2 under the epic sequels category. I haven't seen it, but I don't know what the hell.
I haven't seen Moana 2, and I refuse to, because me and Tyler watched Moana. I don't get the hype. I'm sorry, I never did. I tried for years. Moana's just not for me. It's just.
But I think Moana's a good movie, but I also think that because they keep Moana isolated a lot of the time, it basically kind of
and they shove the whole prophecy shit down your throat,
especially the stuff with their dad, and makes it worse.
Yeah, watching it right after Aladdin.
Like we don't get to see, like the fact that we don't get to see what drives Maui to return to Moana after stranding her in the middle of the ocean 5 feet away from Te Kā kind of ruins his character. And we never get to see the dad go through his own arc where, you know, he's traumatized and he's taking it out on his daughter and almost kills his entire people.
Yeah, me and Tyler watching it right after Aladdin is crazy work. Because A, they were both done by Musker and Clements. And B, like, man, like, they, like, in Aladdin...
And one of them doesn't have Gilbert Gottfried in it.
In Aladdin, yeah, they try to compensate with The Rock, which, I guess Jermaine Clement crap, he's the only thing I really like in the movie. But with, like... the fucking the Chosen One thing, that's only in the first act of Aladdin. Here they shove that your way the whole way through. She's like, oh, I'm the Chosen One. It's like the second act breakup is so frustrating because it's like, oh my god, dude, like it's just like so contrived and annoying. And like it's the pacing I think is horrid too. Like the first act takes forever. We take so long to get off the fucking island. Like we get what's at stake, but also like, dude, just start the adventure. It's so dumb. Like, oh my god, I don't know. Moana just feels like it's Musker and Clements trying desperately to do like Aladdin again. It screams that to me. It's
speaking of Chosen Ones, do you know what I think? I feel like Cass is in a meta sense the Chosen One, because think about how many times throughout season 3 Rapunzel keeps trying to extend olive branches and Cass always scrambles for an excuse to not go for it. To the point where when Rapunzel is called out by Eugene for showing Cass more support than, you know, the other people in her life, you know what she does? She becomes a tyrant. I know that the time traveling thing was by accident, but it doesn't change that she discovers that because of her interference with the timeline, she brainwashed Eugene into blindly supporting her at every corner. And it's like, look, I know a lot of people, I know there are some sentiments where when they look at the Disney princess movies, they think, oh, the woman is too reliant on the man. She should do things
That's
herself.
what I said.
She shouldn't have to rely on validation. And then here comes this kind of weird attempt to correct that critique by making Eugene completely reliant on Rapunzel or something and constantly like blindly supporting her. Like this is
It's almost like I have a character that completely says fuck you to everyone around her.
Ralph for calling her out when she was being a horrible person. So it's like yet another case of like women are always right, and if you're wrong, you're going to be severely punished.
That
like,
again,
if you call them out for being wrong, you're going to be severely punished for it.
Tyler,
there's no such thing as time travel.
Tyler, you better be fucking lucky that was one of the episodes I didn't show you, and we're not gonna have time to react to it today because that was easily my least favorite of the entire show for all the things V mentioned, and also the logic makes
the Maximus episode is worse. The Maximus episode is worse just because it's like that. What the time travel episode on paper sounds batshit crazy, and it's not boring. The Maximus episode was a generic kid show plot on paper, but just copy and pasted with a character. And they just play it completely straight with no self-aware references or jokes. It's
we didn't mention that, nor the generic forced Halloween episode where they make the captain look like a complete buffoon. Those were both very miserable to get through, yes. But coming back here, like, so the Stabbingtons didn't know they were in like a blank state when like Rapunzel and Pascal get out of the bodies. It doesn't even make sense. Pascal's in one of their bodies.
You're talking about an episode I haven't seen, so
yeah. So like basically Rapunzel and Pascal, when like after Eugene calls out Rapunzel for you know, like she keeps saying stuff like real friends don't leave each other. You need to understand that. And Eugene is like, girl, Cass left you. She's not your friend anymore. If she ever was.
Oh, my girlfriend left me. Oh, I'm nothing.
So
exactly.
then Rapunzel and
Pascal becomes such a wet blanket.
Time travel and somehow get stuck in teenage Stabbington bodies. And one of them is voiced by Brian Hull, which I love the guy. But when I found out that he was finally getting like an actual voice acting gig, I saw what it was for, and I'm all like, oh no, you can do so much
Dragon Hotel Transylvania 4.
He's a lot better there than this. I didn't even realize it was Brian Hull until I found that. But yeah, like, the whole reveal of like teenage Eugene and Lance is just lame. And again, I feel like that kind of conflicts with the canon. I don't know. I haven't read that Eugene backstory book. I've heard people are mad about that more. But like, yeah, and like they're stuck in the bodies, and like I guess the Stabbingtons are in like a weird hovering state. And yeah, it's just boring. They go about just with their fucking antics. Oh, look, there's baby Varian. Wow, look, bait, guys. That totally fixes all the problems. And then, yeah, they leave. And then, like, yeah, Rapunzel decides to take that opportunity to fucking manipulate teenage Eugene. And, it boils my blood. It just ruins any fucking goodwill that I had towards her up to that point. I really like her in the first half of the show, too. That's the damn big shame of it. There were some mistakes they made. But ultimately, yeah, it just fucking fell flat on its face right there before the finish line.
And the funny thing is that either the episode before or after, I think, is when we get the flashback episode of when Rapunzel and Cass first met. And that just destroys her even more because Rapunzel is the one who cherishes having dreams and, you know, is usually supportive of people when they have their own. But when she finds out that Cass dreams of leaving Corona, she doesn't support her. She basically says, oh, so you lied to me and you used me? Well, guess what? I'm not going to be your friend anymore until you give up your dream.
So she was insensitive from the start.
It's so babyish. The fuck?
But also, Tyler.
You're not going to stay here.
But Tyler, that gives you fuel to hate Rapunzel more, because this was one of the episodes you didn't see. I was going to show you it because, yeah.
Rapunzel is a fucking privileged...
Yeah, you could sympathize with Cass more. But which is worse though, because in season 3, you also can't sympathize with Cass because she's a brainless idiot sometimes. Or a lot of the time.
Exactly. Like by the end of the show, I come out hating everybody except for Eugene. Like
Eugene is the only one. Or Lance. Lance is the only good one.
Sexualize him into marrying an abusive woman. Like
that is so fucked up.
I have to ignore that the show exists.
Wait, so we're saying Rapunzel is abusive now?
Yeah. Well, she manipulated him and him to think shit in his teenage years. So yeah.
Okay, let me question this: why do they give a shit so much about the wedding short to the point where they made this an interquel?
They had to follow that to a T, and now it ruins the wedding short because Varian isn't there. Lance isn't the best man. For fuck's sake, he's right. Like, I think they should have reanimated
Cass
it.
isn't even there.
I think
Which, to be fair, they did make a good reason for her to not be there, but it is also not earned at all, and
it's very vague. Like, oh, I gotta find my own destiny. This show loves fucking mentioning destinies. When me and Ava and Tyler watched Finding Dory, and I started hearing that, I got Vietnam flashbacks because they love talking about that. I gotta follow my destiny. Like, oh my god.
Cass doesn't deserve to find her own destiny. She should have ended the show either executed or thrown in jail, because the last thing that she ever did was try to mass murder Corona.
Rapunzel wouldn't want to murder.
I think she deserves to find
I think it should have been a pardon. Like, we'll not punish you. Like, we'll not like hurt you or anything on the condition you leave. I think that's what they should have done.
That's basically what happened.
Because no, they don't say that. They don't say that.
Eugene and Varian
that's because they don't say it. That doesn't mean that isn't the case. She's probably banned from coming back.
Jesus Christ, this podcast is crazy. Yeah, like, I just wish they gave.
The fact that Eugene and Varian were punished for doing stuff that wasn't even, well, for Varian it's a little bit in the middle ground, but for Eugene especially, the way that he was going to be killed for doing something way less hurtful and harmful and, like, awful than Cass, whereas she gets to get away with it with a slap on the wrist. She's the freeloader, letting everything land in her lap, because I'm pretty sure the only reason, aside from being Rapunzel's best friend, the only reason that she didn't get what she actually deserved was because she's the daughter of the captain of the guard.
Yeah. I'm just surprised with what didn't happen in the show as is. I'm surprised Rapunzel and Eugene didn't get overthrown. Or they didn't try to overthrow Frederick.
Speaking of the finale, anyone ever feel like it was too video gamey?
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
Season 2 feels... It screams... I took Dungeons and Dragons for a bit while I did Dungeons and Dragons with a friend while I watched the show.
And the finale of this show reminds me of any of the big final monsters in any of the mid-2000s Sonic games.
Yeah, it definitely does feel... Well... Oh, Xantiri. Oh, that fucking hat.
Like, you know what this should have been?
She is wasted. She is wasted.
Eye candy.
Like, she is wasted.
No, that's the whole show, Tyler. To be fair, that's the whole show. But yeah, her plan is convoluted for one. She's like, okay, all right, so I'm the ghost form here. Then I gotta transform back into physical form. Then this eclipse has got to happen. And this is my status. I gotta like have the sun and moonstone touch to get back into my demon form, and all she really does is like sweep the land in darkness, and that somehow kills everyone. But they never explicitly say like what she's gonna do with the world once she like fucking like takes it over. I know she had old beef with Demanitus. We glossed over that the monkey thing, which. I mean, I guess it works for what it is, whatever, sure. I think it's a bit too far-fetched how he survived in that specific monkey for so long. But yeah, like, she's only doing this because of beef from Demanitus. And I know we gotta mention him again. I did listen to an interview of Chris Sonnenberg, and he admitted... He admitted in the... This is physical evidence, Tyler, shut up. He admitted in the thing that he deliberately made Xantiri just I want power sort of villain. He specifically said he did that to focus on just Rapunzel and Cassandra in that finale. And that right there is the nail in the coffin of, yeah, all he cared about in season 3 was the girl power. We gotta have the girls fighting. That's all that matters. Eugene doesn't matter. He gets stabbed in the finale, and he's in the backseat, basically. The whole big...
Yeah, like, literally, like, even when Rapunzel and Cass team up, it's focused on just them, and it also feels like, this is also another thing where it very much feels like they took the criticisms of Tangled that some people had that were, like, a vocal minority, and tried to fix it. Like, a lot of people were saying that when Eugene cut Rapunzel's hair, well, for one, a lot of people back in the day were also calling the haircut ugly, which I disagree with. But basically, a lot of people were saying that Eugene had no right to do it because it destroyed Rapunzel's autonomy and she should have made that choice herself, completely ignoring that Eugene's autonomy was being taken away because he didn't have a say in whether Rapunzel, after healing him, should be able to go with Gothel afterwards. And it's like, that's the thing with these Disney princess movies. It's a partnership, not codependency. They help each other. So when Rapunzel cuts off her own hair and Eugene does basically nothing except almost die, and Rapunzel doesn't even cry for him this time. She cries for Cass, trying to pull the whole thing again.
They recreate.
Eugene is reduced to nothing but eye candy.
And then the fan service, and fuck it.
I'll say this much on what V said about codependency. I think Disney should just make a new princess film where the princess is more like Merida and just not giving a fuck.
Or Jasmine. You liked Jasmine, I remember.
Yeah, but she's not a funny Scottish woman, so don't care.
I haven't seen Brave in a while. I remember Merida was fine. She's not great, but her mother is fucking something else, I remember. People complain about Merida more than her mother, and I'm shocked by that. But
I am too, as someone who I did have a phase where I really did like Brave because of what they did with Merida. Looking back, like I just wished Merida was in a better movie.
Exactly.
Because her character is actually cool.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of sad how they propped her up to be this badass princess, but then whenever she actually tries to fight the enemy, she is physically and agility-wise, she's completely incapable of actually landing a hidden to the point where she has to rely on her mother to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, like, it ruins kind of the teaser that we got for Brave, where it just shows Merida traveling in the
fucking
forest.
Like,
we could have gotten that. We wanted to see more of that side to Merida, to really emphasize the brave aspect of the movie, but they didn't.
Yeah, it was real lousy.
That's a whole discussion for another day.
Yeah, I think we're running low on time, so we need to get season 3 finished. So yeah, the finale, those are the big problems, but there's other problems too. Like, they kind of haphazardly finished they have Eugene separate from Rapunzel Cassandra. He should have been in the fight too. I think the King Edmund shit could have been resolved in an earlier episode. Like, they don't. Oh yeah. They don't give like
the King Edmund thing. Even Rapunzel refuses to let Eugene cope on his own. It's like, I want to cut my dad out of my life. No, you're not allowed to. I'm going to force you to bond because I think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, well, it's a big thing to grapple with, and Rapunzel's just not helping emotionally. They ruined her character in season. She's probably the thing I'm pissed about most with the show, honestly. Because I loved Rapunzel in the movie and in the first half of this. What did you do to my girl? Anyway,
I didn't like Rapunzel in any of the show. In any episode she's in, she's always a fucking bitch.
She's sheltered or entitled. That's basically all they saw her as, and that's a shame. She had dimension.
Frederick that she turned
into. They're trying to shoehorn in Rapunzel in every episode because she's the title character.
Yeah, that's why they retitled the show. They did that deliberately, and Disney can't. It's a good time to mention it. Disney canned that Varian spinoff. Because all they said was like, oh, we can't focus on anyone other than Rapunzel. But at the same time, the show was gonna have Varian he gets a boyfriend. So yeah, I could see Disney.
I think we should wrap this up now. Like, genuinely, we've gone on long enough.
I agree.
Also, one more thing about the finale. Why did you lock? Like, you do all this extra time, and like, the only satisfying thing in that hour is the fucking like ending proposal. Again, I thought that proposal thing was hand-fisted, but that was neat. That was a nice way to cap off how exhausting everything is. But also, why did you lock all these side characters into the acid trip dimension? You talk all this stuff about the Lost Realm, and it's like a fucking just all LSD, it's LSD. It's literally LSD. And like, you had an episode earlier in the season. This could have been an opportunity to make a filler ep important. They had this episode where Rapunzel's forcing everyone to do like this treasure quest and putting everyone in unique pairings, and I was dumbfounded. Like, you had it right there, and you could have played that into the finale where everyone's gotten the skills needed to work together and face Xantiri together. That would have been awesome, but they didn't. They had no ideas. Even for Varian, he gets stuck in there too. That is so lousy that the finale is the most disappointing one I've ever seen with the show. It is soul-suckingly saddening that this is what Disney should have just canned it, honestly. But before any of this shit went haywire the way it did. It breaks my goddamn heart. And yet all of this merit.
If they really wanted to market on something, why couldn't they just make a Frozen show instead?
Exactly. Why are you making a Tangled remake before Frozen? That makes no fucking sense. I won't talk much about the remake here, not just because we're low on time, but like
you just brought it up, bro.
But what is there to like say? Like Tegan Croft, I guess, is a good casting choice.
It's just another live action remake. Nobody fucking.
The Wise Indie Show just said for like a brief second, did anybody ask for this? No, but we're making it anyway.
Yeah, like, and you're like making new characters for the remake and stuff, and just like at this point, I just hope and pray they don't reference the show in any way. They might do an MCU cameo with Cass or Varian, which great, good job, fuck you, but also like. Man, I just shows like Tangled the series fascinate me more than your theatrical sequels or your remakes. Like this is the kind of stuff that the bad media that I'm fascinated by, because it's just like there's so many layers to unpack. There's many visions in the room having a tug of war. While with those, it's just kind of like. They're doing it on purpose. They're just trying to rile people up at this point. I don't think it's.
And the only point of consistency too is that, like, at the end of the day, the thing that pisses me off most is that the one consistent thing across all 3 seasons is that the messaging is very pro-abuse, where they're like, oh, it was bad for Gothel to abuse Rapunzel because she kidnapped her and she was a complete stranger, not even related to her. But if you're a dad, it's okay. If you're a friend, it's okay. If you're a woman lover, it's okay. Like, Frederick abuses Rapunzel, Cass abuses Rapunzel, Rapunzel abuses Eugene, and in every single scenario, the abuser is the one that the show sides with more than the victim. And given that this is a show where, it's on Disney Channel, so obviously a lot of kids are going to see this. Like,
they shouldn't be watching Disney Channel, they should be watching something else.
This isn't the kind of thing that kids should be learning, because this is how they end up in abusive relationships.
Are we really going to preach morals now?
Well, that's the thing. Is like I must point this out. I did at the beginning, and I think it comes full circle and ending this well. I think it's so fucked how I seeked and actively liked this show to escape abuse. That is so fucked to me. How
and now I have to. And now after this is over, I'm gonna go lobotomize you.
It swept me up. And it's like, yes, the soundtrack is good. Yes, sometimes the animation is like semi-impressive. Like V said, it's inconsistent enough that it's jarring. Yes, a lot of the voice actors they picked for at least for the new characters, those are solid. And like you put all this budget and all these resources, you have so many talented writers coming up with all these interesting concept ideas. There's so many good episodes in there. Even in the filler, there's generally good shit in there. And ultimately, all of it amounts to nothing, and it's
all table dressing.
That's all. That's the most.
Nobody
this is
on the show
heartbreaking. It sucks.
All for nothing at all.
It's
Tangled, not heartbreaking.
This is not.
It's a write-off.
Tangled Ever After is the only sequel you ever needed to this movie. The only.
You didn't even need that because there's no dialogue and the main actors don't even speak. It's just
they do. The main actors do speak. You haven't seen it. It's cute though. It's a perfect little.
To see more of Rapunzel with her short hair. Like that's what I wanted.
Yeah, you could have done this show without the hair. You could have still done the whole celestial prophecy kind of thing. There's again, I'm making a few seemingly small tweaks to certain elements, like with Frederick or with Cass's motivations. Just a couple tweaks would have made this like a number rating higher, maybe 2. Like you would have had to fix a lot of like the dead space and like the kind of like I don't know. It's just like.
So is this over now?
Yeah, it's about over.
Yeah, it's glad we're finally done with this. So now that this is over, I can lobotomize Inky and make it so that he never has to mention this shitty ass show ever again.
We can finally put it behind us.
Yeah. I'm gonna try my best to put this behind me.
You better stick by your word this time.
I'll still have the rewrite on the back burner, but ultimately, I can't anymore. It truly is stunning how for 3 years I've had to keep second guessing myself. Like, wait, this element's weird. No, wait, this is. It's all stacked up over time. And it's like, no offense to you, Chris. I know I mentioned you a few times, but dude. I don't think he was. I think they should have consulted the original directors because they know what they're doing. And Dan Fogelman was the writer. Just bring the original, because I don't even think there's claims online from them of what they think of the show. That must be horrified by what happened. I'm sure they are. It's their creation, but man, it really is a damn shame. So. Anyway, I'm giving this show a fucking 6 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 0 out of 10.
I give it a 2 out of 10 just because
seen.
they have pretty decent voice actors and singing, and I'm sure the songs are great, even though I've blocked them out of my memory because I refuse to listen to anything associated to the show. But, like, it's funny how, in my videos, I gave Animaniacs 2020 a slightly higher ranking by 1 point, but while Animaniacs 2020 is my personal, like, worst thing to ever trash something that I love, I do acknowledge that Tangled, the series, is a lot more dangerous in its existence compared to Animaniacs.
I can't see Animaniacs,
which is why I rank it lower.
I can't see that show being like. I can't see any Disney show like truly try. Because let's admit it here. This show is ambitious. It was trying to tackle a lot, and it was just too much. And it ultimately, a lot of it just became set dressing. Yeah. What's your score, Eva?
Yeah, because the thing is, though, I can't, as much as like I said, this was one of the first few shows I followed through to the very end. And because it's sort of a nostalgic, am I willing to admit it's a flawed show? Absolutely. There are so many things that did not age well at all. And I think it all boils down to season 3 and the cast twist. Like I said, I stand by it. It's literally Wicked done worse. The whole dynamic with Rapunzel and Cass is very similar to Elphaba and Glinda, but worse. Because
at least Glinda was supposed to be toxic. Meanwhile, you're supposed to side with Rapunzel when she's being toxic.
Exactly. And like I said, I don't hate the show as much as like you guys. Like I said, I will, because there's shows out there that, I mean, I haven't seen a lot, but there are some stuff that will piss me off a lot more. Tangled the series, to me, it's just there. It exists.
It's the most mixed bag ever.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Because on the one hand, I love the animation. I do respect that they did bring back the original cast for this show, and they still tried. I'll give credit to that. And the new voice actors are really good. And the animation, I do like the art style they went for. But there are some story beats that do somewhat work. Like some of the new characters and the dynamics are enjoyable at times. My biggest problem with the show is, again, it's okay. The best way to describe it, it was trying too much. They were trying to fill their basket with so much potential, and it just falls apart, especially in season 3.
Yeah.
And that's why like I said, if I go back and rewatch the show, it's mainly just season 1, mainly because it's the most slice of life. Like, if anything, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not as attached to Tangled as I was when I was a kid or as a teenager, which is how I was in high school when the show was airing. So I was attached to it for a while. And as an adult, while I still appreciate the show and the movie for that matter, at least to me, I think the show, it could have been so much better. I see the potential it was going for. It was just the execution was just all over the place.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 in my opinion.
Y'all are way too
I don't
fucking
hate
lenient
it.
with this show.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Especially I don't love it as much as I used to when the show was airing. And the fact that this show ended and then Owl House was just beginning, part of me wishes I got into the Owl House a lot sooner, given how phenomenal and much better of a show that turned out to be.
I wonder if Disney...
Yeah, it's overrated. That's what I'll close it on.
I wonder if Disney got scared after Tangled the series was a total disaster internally. I have to wonder if, they looked at Owl House and thought, oh, we're not doing this again, despite a better person being behind it who had creative integrity. She had a vision, unlike
I'm going to say this. Y'all are way too lenient with this show. Just say it's outright bad, because that's exactly what it is.
Well, that's the thing.
It's meat potential, the show. It's like, what could have been? Look how good this could have been.
This is my TV equivalent to Cars 2, where it's very much it's bad, and it tries way too fucking much in a single package, but it's just man, I love picking it
Joy,
apart,
joy.
and there are so
What
many
was
good shreds in there.
before again?
There's an overwhelming amount of good shreds to say, well, that was a waste. It does feel like a waste of time, but at the same time, it's like, man, it'll never end for me thinking about this. I'll still be figuring out new things.
Wait, speaking of Cars 2, I also rewrote that movie, so if you're interested in Geek, I'm willing to share it with you.
Yeah, send it.
I've read it. It's actually really good and better written.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, that's one way to end an episode of the podcast, with product placement. So, in the words of Maggie Simpson from the Simpsons movie,
what?
That's what she says at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Well, I think that's gonna do it for today, folks. Yeah, that was a
quick, kill the pig.
very chaotic discussion of Tangled the series, aka the most bizarre, worst enigma of my fucking life. I am never going to talk this much about the show again. Yeah, everybody, have a wonderful day.